All right, dude, I hit record then. Stop yelling at me, Steve. Oh, Steve, stop yelling. Oh, we're Snack Podcast now.
That's a good sound.
What do they call it? Is it mukbang?
Mukbang.
Mukbang?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The first time I heard that, I thought it was some sexual thing.
Yeah,
it's just guys eating or
is.
people eating on video.
Yeah, I believe it's a South Korean content. What am I saying? It's a South Korean content thing.
Listener, just when you think you know it all, just when you think you have a little bit of a finger on the pulse of what humanity is like, you learn something new.
And only from the Hive Scum podcast.
The educational podcast. We're now an educational
For
podcast.
the 28 community.
For the 20
Yeah,
community.
thank you. Thank you for polishing that off.
Yeah, I'll be your host, Gage at No Clear Coat.
I'll be your other host, Steve, at South of Heaven.
And I'm your third host for the day, Terry at Stone.jaw.
Now sit back, relax, as we sip a Coke Zero on this fine New England day.
I have a Diet Coke. Unfortunately, I have a Diet Coke.
I inhaled the Coke fumes before I started drinking.
Oh, no.
Sadly, Phil had to leave early today.
He's no longer with us.
Those of you in the Patreon, you get to hear him.
Yeah,
the rest of you. So if you want to hear Phil, go sub to the Patreon.
If you want to hear Phil's thoughts on Scholastic book fairs and the Animorphs and Goosebumps' franchise, you can head on over to patreon.com/hivescum.
I will.
Yeah, you will, because you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
So, yeah, that's your trade-off. Sorry, patrons.
Yeah, we traded Phil for Gage today.
We want Phil.
We want Phil. We want Phil. All right, anyways. Sorry, I'm fixing my freaking chair.
Dude, when we get to the new spot, we got to do something about the setup.
It's already been discussed.
Steve's already been cooking.
Good. We got to...
We're going to IKEA on Saturday.
That's awesome.
Oh,
I'm
money.
down. Do
I
we
hate
need this
spending money, though.
mixer that's made for 14 people?
No, I can
What
bring
if
it
we
back
have
to my
14
house,
people?
but we need this in case we have guests, right?
Yeah, and it fits up to 6 people. We could have the whole crew on and more.
This could also be mounted somewhere else, not directly on
The ceiling.
table. I mean,
Oh, wow. That would be cool.
Terry can't adjust the knobs anymore.
No, their audio's too high or probably most likely too low.
Most likely.
Paul talking to the mic. Anyway.
Who is the worst offender more than Paul?
Oh, man. There was one person that
Me?
I was like, dude, I don't even know if I could save this.
But
I think it was Oliver from the first live Nemo coverage. He was,
yes.
but he was just sitting way back in his chair. And it sounded like this.
Listen, Oliver can do no wrong.
Oliver can do zero wrong. He is a god
And he's coming
amongst
back.
mere mortals.
He'll be back making you delicacies from other countries for the grimdark folks over at Under the Dice Fest this year.
He's the reason the food's so good there.
Damn.
Bug burgers for the vegans.
I'm excited.
Him and Painter.
a bug burger.
Him and Painter are always chefing it.
Classic. Pat Dean.
Pat Dean.
Good
Sweet,
crew.
sweet
They got
Dean.
a good crew.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to take my hoodie off. It's warm
pretty
in
hot.
here.
You got the suds?
I got the studs again.
Take your freaking hoodie off.
I would say out of the entire group, you get the sick the most.
I get the sick the most.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do get the sick a lot. You get the ick.
I was going to say
used
the
to.
suds, but then I corrected.
Yeah, I used to for sure. I got yelled at last time I got really sick by the doctor, and I have like a health hack now.
Wait, you went to the doctor when you were sick?
Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
I don't do that.
I know.
Is it because you eat too many Skittles and you don't eat enough broccoli?
Yeah, it turns out, being a trash food vegan, not the best.
Yeah, well,
No, I got
all right.
I got a big fucking schnoz, and every season change I get like sinus infection every fucking time.
Is your nose's fault?
I don't know, probably.
I get the
Or
same
my
thing.
diet.
I'll blame the nose. Nothing I could do about it. The freaking nose.
No, dude.
born this
The
way.
hack now, though, the second you start feeling it,
Earplugs in your nose.
no.
Although.
Sinex spray, just like a
Okay.
saline spray.
Yeah.
Then a little bit of nasal spray.
Oh.
Hot shower. Good to go.
What do you mean good to go?
You rip like emergency too, or you just...
Yeah, I mean, you could blast yourself with C, but the last 3 days, or 3 days of that, it's gone. Normally, I would be like, I'm a tough guy. I can sleep this off.
Yeah, that's
it'll be
what I
gone
do.
in like 1 to 2 months.
Yeah, well.
And that's what it did. And I'm just infecting everyone around me.
Yeah,
Wow.
you do. So
Yeah.
it's not a sinus infection.
Yeah, because it gets to the point where I'm fucking patient zero.
Yeah. I get sick, I think, so often that I never really feel it because I work with kids all day.
Yeah.
And so there was one time I went to the doctor and they're like, your white blood cell count is really low. And I was like, what? And they were like, you got to go get further tests. You might have like lupus or something ridiculous.
Sickle cell.
And I was like, oh, this is sick. So I went and got like more testing done, and I came back and they're like, oh, actually it looks normal. You just must have been sick and not known it. Do you have any kids? And I was like, I have 300.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's why.
Yeah. You're
I was
just
like,
always
oh, okay.
fighting that shit.
Yeah. It's just,
Makes you stronger.
I mean, I rarely get sick, but then when I get sick, I get freaking sick.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
Gage, what have you been working on?
A lot.
Yay.
November, at the start of it, I remember I texted the group chat and I was like, I have every hour of this month planned out.
Down to the
That's probably awesome
And I
for
was
your
like,
brain.
It was and it wasn't, because I'm not an anxious person, but it was
No
like
fun.
Yeah, it was like
Scheduling your fun.
yeah, dude, it was like, okay, I have an hour and a half to have fun on this night, and that's it.
Besides when I play Diablo.
Yeah. Dude, that Diablo time was not in the schedule, let me tell you, but we made it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You and
Always
Elon.
fine time.
As of right now, I am not on the leaderboard, which is a real bummer, but
Well, there's always next week.
there's the rest of tonight when we're done with this.
I love
The next 18 hours.
The ever-changing leaderboard, like just constantly in flux.
Dude, our overlord Elon Musk is now number 44, so
Wait, so he's not number 5 anymore?
no, dude. he got
Or is that
kicked.
world?
That's world.
He's still probably 5 Spiritborn.
No.
No?
He's 44th.
Then not.
I wish I had internet right now
Yeah.
to check.
Well, go to Helltides GG, everyone.
Yeah, go check.
Idiot
live.
Elon, get good.
No,
you
I know,
freaking
dude.
jerk.
Yeah, he's eating McDonald's or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, less time doing whatever bullshit you're doing and more time grinding cow levels.
Okay. Anyway,
Yo, I remember the cow level.
it was
Thank
in
you.
3 too. It was awesome, and
Yeah.
there's not 1 in 4. But
No fun. That's what we call zero fun gaming.
zero fun
No
gaming.
cow
If
level?
there's not
This
a cow
game
in it,
sucks.
bad
Yeah.
game.
Well, Diablo 3, it took a while to get the cow level.
Yeah.
It wasn't off the rip.
No, and they don't tell anyone. It's just you got to figure it out. So people are still speculating that it is there.
We just haven't
They
found
just haven't
it.
figured it out yet.
Well, we can only hope that there's a cow level.
But anyway, November was just totally slammed for me. It was Arcane Con, and then it was Vastarian.
Our main
I know. I could
topic
see
today.
what you were going to say as you were thinking it.
What were you gonna say?
You did the
Wrong?
same thing I did, where I literally interviewed Eric at the event, being like, "Eric, how's the brothers of Vastarian?"
Yeah.
It's like, ooh. Vastarian, and then this last weekend was just like a major surgery for a family member, so it was just like just no fun zone for a lot.
Yeah.
And
Ain't gonna get fun.
I'll get into it when we get into the main thing, but like I was not in the space, like mental space for prep for Vastarian,
Yeah.
and that was like really weighing on me. So mostly what I've been working on was like that, and then I don't know, getting my family healthy and
Totally.
being around.
Just living your best life as a good human.
I'm trying. I did go through. I had a playtest group to go through. I hope we can talk about this.
Spoiler.
Our secret thing for episode 50.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
you were playing the.
Bleep that out, Terry.
I will. They won't even know.
No, so yeah, I was playtesting with a group for that, and I think it'll be fun. There was something else I wanted to talk about. I'm just completely blanking on it now.
Something you've done.
What have I done?
What have I done? What have I
Oh, dude, I've been in like book zone the last like 4 days, and that's all I can really think about.
Dude.
I want to play Inquisitor real bad, so we've been digging over that book. Paul and I are going to England for a Necropolis event, so been pouring over that. It's really been it. Kind of just homework zone.
Wasn't there some Disney movie where there were like books? Shit, man.
What are you?
Page Master. Fucking Page Master. You know
Yeah,
what
the
I'm talking
books,
about?
dude. Imagine your Inquisitor book follows you around and just talks shit to
Dude,
you,
could you
and it's a
imagine
little
that?
like it's a small Inquisitor.
It just looks like John Blanche following you around.
Yes, brother.
Just riding a little motorcycle.
You're a hype man.
Yeah. That's cool. And then Mordheim is a little, was Thomas Piernan?
trench
He's
coat.
got a trench coat on.
Dude, actually, you should be rolling on 4s, not 3s here.
Dude. And
Dude, this is a good bit.
Then, yeah, Warhammer 6th edition is just Brian Ansell. the guy with cut off sleeves.
Dark Lord of Chaos.
Always giving you like tactical advice, but always has to flex like on the table doing the Ansel pose.
How do you think Brian Ansel? I don't know what he sounds like. I know he's British.
Yeah, they
Probably
all sound
British.
He probably talks like this, mate.
Yeah. There's so many different types of British. I can't even start on that. Who else is there, dude? Now I'm like stoked on this. What does Jervis Johnson look like as a book? What is his first edition Age of Sigmar book that follows you around him? He's just losing pages behind him.
You get Mike Hutchins as the gas.
Oh,
It's a little car. Guy driving the car.
Oh, yeah, man. These are good.
This is like a fanfic at this point.
Yeah, this is funny.
Yeah. You got the Perry twins doing
Yeah,
silly business. Oh, this is
They're a
great.
conjoined twin book. It's
They-
like
they-
two books
No, dude,
together.
they are the the blue and the green of green stuff stuck together.
Oh, my God. Yeah, well, you know what? When Games Workshop steals that and they go, Henry Cavill, we got a new idea for the Warhammer 40K movie.
You're gonna play a guy lost in the Black Library.
Getting followed around by animate books
and green stuff.
and by hobby tools. Okay, we're gonna CGI you to be a little kid.
Oh, dude, the brave little toaster, but it's all your hobby tools.
We're going to CGI Henry Cavill to be a little kid.
Just a grown man's face on like a little kid body.
Yeah,
This is a big jaw.
Yeah.
Come along, then.
What things in here would come alive? You think
Dude, the CRT TV,
the tea kettle,
the tea kettle. Oh yeah, the tea
ghost.
kettle.
the ghost,
The mold
the
in our
giant
lungs.
transformer.
Oh, the giant transformer just buzzes for like
Yeah.
a second, and then turns off the power of the whole building
Yeah.
accidentally.
Are we going to be in here? No, we're not. This is probably the last episode
We were
of
talking
this
about
space.
that on the Patreon, dude.
Damn, dude.
Last episode in this space.
Should I rip the transformer for everyone to hear?
Yeah,
Kill power for
turn
the whole
it
building?
On, turn it on. Turn it on.
Oh, we gotta wait until the end. That's how we'll end the episode because it cuts. Yeah, it'll be really good, listeners, because it literally will shut off the power to the entire building accidentally, which we found out last time. Shoot, where were we before Page Master?
He was telling us about what he's been doing.
Oh yeah, you were in Bookland.
I was in Bookland.
That's what made me
That's
think
it.
about it.
That's it.
What do you mean Bookland? What does that mean? Like
I've just been looking.
You've been at the book
I've
barn.
been pouring over the tomes. You know, I didn't really have too much hobby time.
You're like
so.
Gandalf.
He was
at the-
feeling really
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
because he showed off his collection in the BX group chat for Traveler.
Oh,
And then
Yeah.
Brian's like, wow, that's such a collection. And Gage was upset and said, well, I've only read 2/3, so it doesn't count.
No, dude, a third. I've only.
I was gonna say 2/3 is really good.
I've gone. I mean, every book I've purchased, obviously, I've like looked through and been like, oh, this is the cool thing of this book. But all of them are RPGs, and I've only played a third of my collection. Like,
Who's got the time?
I don't know, man. We're chugging along. We're trying to go through as many books as we can, but
You know what? It's like you gotta savor it like a fine wine. You know what I mean? Just soak them in. Baby.
I was going over this when Hoskins was over, and he was just like, "This is so awesome to see from like a business side. Like you are a person that obviously like supports the arts, yeah.
You pay for our business.
But it's like,
Thank you, sir.
yeah, literally, like people like me are why these companies can do cool things. But it's like, it's a collection at this point. It's not. It's like with the day that I finally can nail down a time for us to play like Mutant Crawl Classics or something, then it'll be perfect.
Totally.
But that's probably 4 years from now.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, collector's mentality I go back and forth on so often because, you know, I've known a lot of people who are like record collectors with like a capital RC.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy crap, like you have so much stuff and you use Spotify mostly, you
Yes.
know, and you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
actually
yeah.
listen to them.
I think you get in a mindset. It's like I collect this and it's my thing now.
Yeah.
Regardless of
Yeah.
if you use it.
Luckily, Steve and I are not into anything collectible.
Nothing. I don't collect anything.
Definitely don't have too many models everywhere, constantly threatening to avalanche me as I sit in my studio. But where was I going with that? But it's nice to have them because it's like, even just having them there visually will influence decisions that you make. You're like, oh, I forgot about the vibe in blah, blah, blah RPG. Like, that would be really cool. Even if I don't use that system, I use something else. It's like just having it
Well,
kind
that
of
and, like,
influences you.
I try to keep the same mentality of like art books. People
Totally.
buy art books just for art. to inspire
Totally.
them to look at.
Sit on a table.
Yeah, same shit as RPGs, right? It's like I open it up. They are art books at a certain extent, to a certain extent as well. But it's like, okay, well, I want to get the vibe of this thing. Or like lately, we've been talking about Inquisitor and stuff like that. It's like, okay, what is in that kind of like mindset? And there's like so many old school cyberpunk stuff that could fit perfectly in that aesthetic.
Yep.
That like I pulled a couple of those books out just to flip through, but I've never played a single one of my cyberpunk books.
Yeah.
But even me owning it and just looking at it and then being like, oh, maybe I'll steal this one page for inspiration or something.
Totally.
It feels worth it to me. So
or like this mechanic works perfectly in here if I just change the dice around.
Yeah.
And all
it
of a
never
sudden you have
feels like wasted.
No.
You know.
And they're books. At the end of the day, they're cool to look at, and they don't take up a shit ton of space. It's like not like you're collecting 3D printers.
The only thing that sucks is when you move them. And it's like
we're dealing with it right now, and there's no books on that shelf.
Yeah,
there's barely any books.
What is heavier than books?
Yeah.
Bricks?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Wooden tables.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, to fill this box as heavy as I can, I'm going to put books in it.
Is this coming with us?
It has to. This couch.
Yeah, the couch. Yeah. We're looking at the couch.
Where else will Phil live?
That's true. That's true. Phil
in a
needs
box
somewhere to
outside.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we'll see. Maybe down by the river. We'll be right
Ooh,
next to a
he'd
river.
probably like that.
He could be that guy down by the river. It'd be cool just bathing Phil just like out in the wild, naked, butt ass naked in the
bathing
river.
ape.
Yeah, truly. Shoot, and then where were we before? Now we're off on another subject. This is the name. This is Hive Scum in a can.
Where were we?
Where were we? Yeah, we talked to Inquisitor. Oh, dude, we've been so.
What have you been doing, Terry?
You want me
What
to
have
go?
you been? Yeah, you go. You go.
So I've been doing a little bit of model painting, mostly Skaven. I finished the 500 points of War Master, which I talked about a while ago, and now I'm kind of like tinkering with getting the, up to 1,000 of War Master, which isn't too many models of a jump because I want the War Hydra to be in it. So the War Hydra is like 250 points.
Are you
or something
basing?
like that.
What are you putting that Hydra on?
It's on a piece of just like I've been cutting plastic art for everything, so
Okay.
it's on just a piece of
I
plastic.
don't think it matters though.
You not
just put it on
really
the
with
circular
that. Yeah.
28.
I didn't know if you were doing
Yeah.
something like extra for it, like diorama-y or.
I thought about it, but the base itself is diorama. It's got like
Yeah.
a rock with the little hydras on.
Yep.
And it looks really sharp. So it's like I'm excited to kind of paint that, take my time with it, take all of 1 hour to paint it, and have it done. And I've been doing Skaven. I'm almost done with the second block of Skaven.
So 40 Skaven.
40 Skaven total, and then I'm going to start working on my Doom wheels, which I'm still like,
They're really good. They're so good in OPR.
oh, I know. I'm excited to play them, but I'm like, I have the skeleton horses, the old school like Warhammer box of skeleton horses. I think you had given them to me for like forever ago, and so I was like, maybe I'll put some Skaven on top of those and have those. But I was looking through, and I was telling them this on the Patreon episode. I was looking through this Hobbit concept book that I bought from Ollie's like forever ago.
The best store.
Dude, we were talking about how it's just like, yeah, anyways, it's sick. And the concept art in there is so cool and goes so deep for like a $9 Ollie's bargain bin book. And so there's these pictures of these orcs on like long leg monsters with like crazy heads or whatever, and I'm like, dude, I would love to sculpt some like crazy spindly leg monsters with just Skaven on them, and then those are my Doom wheels. And I don't know where the guns come into play, but maybe it's like it fires out of the mouth or something. Maybe the mouth is a fucking gun or some shit.
Fuck it.
Shoved a lightning cannon down its mouth.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's just like it's run by like Weirdstone now, and so there's just like shit sticking out of its head that powers this like Gatling gun in its mouth. It's got like tubes coming out that they can like feed it and shit. I don't know.
Skaven, I feel like is the only faction that can get away with like kind of breaking that tech.
Yes,
It's steampunk.
except it's
Besides
hard
Empire.
as hell.
Yeah, but like even like
It's annoying, dude. It's not
like
an
the warp
easy
fire
thing.
guy that I'm thinking of has
The
like
big fucking gun.
yeah. It's like the most out of character thing for a fantasy
Yes.
thing, but it still looks good.
I don't know, because the Empire... the Empire has a sniper rifle. The guy that's 2 bases long,
right?
With a freaking
the little
scope.
kid is holding it. Yeah.
But the Skaven stuff, it's got like weird like steam pumps and shit on it.
I'm just
And
saying,
that's what makes
if
it
you
tricky.
painted a bolter to look wooden and put it in a Skaven's hand, it wouldn't look crazy.
You
They
don't
do a
think
good
so?
job though.
I like wonder, and that's
you
where
should try. Just put a bolt in one of your guys' hands.
It's a good idea. I mean, worst comes to worst, it's I put it on a round base.
Yeah,
It's like okay,
The Necron guns would probably look really good.
Oh, true.
They'd probably fit right in.
yeah, it's not a bad idea. And I
Death
do have
Mark
a
snipers,
bunch of,
that would look awesome.
because like that's where the trouble is. I feel like with Skaven, like kit bashing things that look techie but not sci-fi
Yeah.
is like, oh dude, it's a fine little line. I've also like really, I love Mold's freaking Gorka Morka truck that just looks so blocky and boxy, and I'm looking at all my kids Melissa and Doug wooden toys, and I'm like, fuck dude, I might just start stealing these. Just be like, you're not using that little toy, you don't even notice this one over here.
Dude,
What?
Paul's looking in the
Come
toy
on.
chest right now at the galleon ships for Blood and Plunder.
Dude,
Like-
yeah, right. It's just like, yeah, okay, we'll dig this, we'll use that. But I just love how blocky it is, and I'm like, maybe I kind of go a little bit cartoony with it. Anyways, I don't know. We'll see what that direction goes. But my biggest hobby thing is I've been moving my freaking studio space, man.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. How's
I
that?
have been grinding my little tookus off, dude, getting rid of shit, just purging stuff. My garage, if you're a garage owner out there, looked probably just like your garage, which is filled with stuff.
But now he's better than you.
Yes, but now I'm better than you. No, it was just like filled with stuff. It was just a dumping ground zone. And so there was a moment the other day where Sarah had come down, and I've been like punishing Sarah by being like, you got to come see what I did with the space. And so I'll bring her down and I'll show her whatever rack I put up or whatever like, tool shelf I built or whatever it is. And I was looking at like where my computer is now and where my painting desk is now. And I was like, holy shit, dude, Sarah, remember when that was like, there was just like old mouse traps down there, and this was like a junky IKEA thing that was held together by brackets that we just kind of threw out here because we felt bad getting rid of it. And like now it's like a clean, comfortable, big freaking space. So it feels great. I built out everything I needed to build out. I gave away most of my shit. And so now it's like I'm in the weirdest point where I've ever been in a space where everything in that space has a home where it goes.
Yeah.
It's not like
Couldn't be
let
me.
me find shelf
same.
space for this circular saw. Like the circular saw has a spot.
If I didn't see this space, I couldn't even process this.
Dude, wait till you see it now. It's like even cleaner. I'm
Yeah,
down to
yeah.
like a one small, probably like 3x4 table that has like random stuff on it, like the flat screen TV that's going to the new studio space and stuff. I'm down to just that like tiny little spot, and I'm like, holy shit.
Is that a smart TV?
No.
No, it's
Maybe
like,
we don't need it.
well, whatever, man. I mean, we can hook.
Well, I guess if we hook a VCR up to it, then it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. If it's not, like,
I'm okay with
we
it
can
being
get rid of
dumb
it.
because, dude, the more distractions, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm already going to be fucking
Oh, totally. I hear you.
not paying attention in that spot anyway. And then adding smart technology in there, I'm just going to be like, well, I'm just
I'm just gonna watch TV.
going to watch TV while everyone's here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's no different than what happens right now, where everyone just stands around the computer watching a YouTube video instead of playing a game for 3 hours.
And commenting on YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Those are good ones.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
What was I? Oh, yeah. But so it's pretty much done. Like now it's at the point where it's like that space is totally clean, totally organized. And now I can slowly work in these other areas. I'm going to clean up my attic, all this like little stuff that's not hobby related. But the hobby desk looks freaking sweet, and it's more room than I ever had. But it doesn't feel like wasted space kind
Right,
of thing.
right.
It's great. It's great. I'm totally stoked on it. I'll probably write about it and put it up on my blog just to kind of like take pictures and see what it
You
was.
did a zine.
Oh yeah. So I threw together. I like the little one-page zines. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Steve
yeah.
can attest. Like doing a full zine takes a long time. Like laying it out and putting it together and all that. This is like slapped together. So I had interviews with Ian, Echoes of Battle, Maggot Ian, and also the Wizard Dom, who was doing the magic proxy
the
contest.
proxy contest.
Proxy Palooza.
Proxy Palooza, thank you, sir. And so yeah, I just had them put it on either side, put it out, and then it's done. And once again, it's like I think I'll probably make a blog post about how to make those things. They're really obviously pretty easy, but I think it'll be cool to kind of put that up on the blog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
your,
what I'm
what,
grinding.
7th one?
That's my 4th one, but the last 2 have been hobby related. The first 2 are like strictly noise. They were also called primary source, which is
Yeah.
different kind of.
Same
I
layout.
think I got one of
Same
those.
layout, yeah. Yeah, they're great. I mean, they're the best. You throw them in an envelope. You can send it out to somebody if they really want it. It only costs you a stamp to send, or it's like you can shove it in orders, or you're sending somebody, you shove that in there. You could wrap something up and use it for packing material. It's like
There's so many
super easy
little things I get like that from companies that I'll buy. Or like, I think Out of Season was doing it for a while. They would throw in a little 2-page zine and a magic card.
We should do that with Hive Scum orders.
It's a good idea. People always used to do that too. Like, I don't know how exactly they were doing it, but when they used to ship Japanese goods, a lot of times they were wrapped in woodblock prints. Mm-hmm. And then those woodblock prints, of course, like, you know, people love them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They became like super
More valuable than the thing you're buying.
Yeah. But they used to just be wrapped in them. And it's like, yeah, that's essentially what these zines are. Is it's just like, okay, you're ordering this thing. This thing's going to wrap up this magic card so I can send it to you or whatever. Anyways, Steve, now that I've hogged all the airtime, what you been working on?
All of the airtime.
I've been working on my Vastarian warband I finished.
Oh, yeah.
With the carry case and all that. I did not take any photos of it. Gundam Mike, I think, is the only person who took a photo of it. It looked really cool.
I believe the Wire's got a pretty good one.
Of my warband?
Yeah.
With the box?
I think so.
They always be sneaking around.
They
You
be
never even
sneaking.
know.
They
They go
be
right underneath your arm while you're not paying
they be
attention.
They be sneaking. Yeah, I finished that in like a week. That was nice. What else have I been doing? What have I been doing? Looking around this room.
Cleaning up this room.
That doesn't count, though.
Yeah, I mean, our cleaning session. Your guys' cleaning session, I barely did anything.
Our throw out session.
I
you mean?
threw a bunch of stuff at Tyler and said I was cleaning.
Yeah. And
It was really productive.
yeah.
Yeah. Besides that, I've just been working on, I don't know how to word this. I guess, like behind the scene, getting ready for like flames, like working
Dev
on
work.
Yeah, sure, dev work. Working on that, looking at like platforms to release it.
Yeah.
Just like extra tidbits that I'd like to do with the release that can be either stretch goals or like add-ons, stuff like that.
Getting that shit done.
Yeah, just getting it to a place where I can never look at it again after, all right, it's there. Now the orders come in, and then I will do whatever.
You guys can find it on Kickstarter. There's a $3 million goal.
Yeah.
If it's not met, it'll never come out.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But
Now-
I get to keep your money.
Yeah.
What happens if it's too many people buy it? Is that a worry?
That is not a fear at all, because I don't think that is.
I don't know.
I feel like that's like what a lot of times people like these Kickstarters come out and people are like, oh, who the fuck wants to buy this stupid
Look at
ass
fucking
game?
Trench
And then you put
Crusade.
it out and you're just like, and then you're Trench
I mean,
Crusade. You're
even
like,
like I had no expectation for how Joey would do with Weird Heroes Public Access. He hit $30,000.
Yeah.
That's what
And
I
I'm
mean.
like, holy shit. And he did like stretch goals where you got free stuff. If
and
you
that was at
backed it.
$10 like a thing or whatever,
Yeah.
right? $10 a book
no,
for the basic
I think
package?
I think that was the PDF. I think it was
Okay.
$35. No, there's only, I think the lowest option is $35, and it's
Okay.
for the book. You get a copy of the book, you get a free zine, and then you get the PDF.
Dude, Matt, like, so that's $35. That's 1,000 orders, right? I mean, you know, a little bit less.
Yeah, depending on how you know.
But
how
still,
you
it's just like, fuck, man. That's like a
I mean,
lot
I backed
of
it.
orders.
I backed it at $85
Yeah.
to get like a piece of
The art.
original art.
And then there's like that whole part of it too. Oh, dude, original art, $85 for a
Yeah.
piece of original art, dude. That's a
with,
snap
with
buy.
the book, with all the extra stuff. Like,
That's a
it's
snap
a great
buy.
deal. Yeah, his backer kit is insane. Like the value you get out of it.
I just wonder. It's like, I don't know. I guess just be prepared because
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah,
You might be like, oh yeah, this will sell. Maybe I'll sell 100 copies, and then all of a sudden it's just like, fuck, I gotta get this freaking.
Well, that's like
5,000 copies sold.
I don't think that'll happen, but if it does, that'd be very cool. And I think, you know,
It's a
I've packed
very,
enough orders so far that I think it'll be
Yeah,
We'll help you out,
It's a
too,
cool
if you
first
help
world
pack
problem
it.
to have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna do the method of like, oh, I'll print in 100 copies and see if they sell, but like other people I've talked to, people that are working on the project, were like, you should just put it on BackerKit and just see what happens. Like,
And that
set the
way-
goal low, and then if it meets the goal, then it's like you don't have to give them extra stuff. You don't have to do any of this extra stuff. Like
The only thing is, how much does BackerKit take?
I checked, it's like 7.5%. Plus, it's like a transaction fee of like 4 something, and then another fee of like 2 point something, and
It's
then
good
30
to have
cents per order.
like an organized back end that you can reference rather than you creating it.
What do you mean?
Like it will show you like, okay, this person backed this. Here's their address. Here's their everything. Kind of like any any other like transactional website,
like
would
Big
do.
Cartel,
Yeah,
we use
yeah.
already. And I think it does all that. Like
Yeah.
it does everything for you.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, it's like I just get the money. It sends me the money, and then it's just you go down the order list and make sure everyone gets their shit.
I mean, the only reason people use Kickstarter anymore is because Kickstarter, I think, takes a fucking like 20% or
That's insane.
something
Wow.
crazy. But it's their promise is to advertise it. You're
Yes.
paying, like the 20% is their advertising to get it out to the masses.
And
What
I
do you
think
mean,
that's
like-
the difference.
So okay,
It'll show up on Instagram or something as like a targeted ad.
well, yes, first of all, but it also there's like certain different levels of like partnership you can have with Kickstarter. But it's like, okay, if I've backed a mech game before,
This gets emailed to you.
yeah, it'll literally say like, oh, this
Wow.
person did this. Yeah,
Wow.
so it'll go out of their way, and that's like what you're quote unquote paying for with the percentile.
Yeah.
And if it's a project that they think they want to like not really invest in, but like really put a spotlight on it, then there's more things they can do for you.
I've backed one Kickstarter, and it took, 2 years to get my little...
Damn, you got yours? I didn't even get my Kickstarter.
I know, dude. See, I just like, that's what I worry about. That's what not that I would be worried about it. Don't be worried about anything, but like...
Well, that's why I'm waiting till the book's done. I'm going to order
Yeah.
a test copy. I know what it looks like. I know if there's any issues, it'll be resolved before people even send me money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can see why people can get like the what is it, the cart ahead of the horse type mentality where it's like,
Yeah.
Well, especially because stuff costs money.
yeah,
Everything
I've got-
fucking costs money.
I've got 8 artists lined up, and don't worry, I'm going to pay them all, and then this is going to happen, and the rules are almost done, and I'm just going to get the
Oh,
money
yeah,
now,
yeah, and then you're like,
I can pay everyone out, and then
Yeah, because I'll have the money, and paying people makes things go fast.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it doesn't.
and then once you
Yeah.
scale everything up, and then also with those other people involved, there's always another level of complexity for each party involved.
Yeah.
Anytime you hand a problem or a task off to another person, it is no longer in your control or timetable.
Yep.
It's someone else's world.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
have no say in it.
Well, you're smart. Is all I'm saying is you're a smart guy, Steven. He's a brainiac. Who would have guessed?
Who'd have guessed?
Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
would've guessed?
So I've been working on that. Got a lot of stuff in the pipeline trying to figure it all out. And I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no real deadline,
No. I mean, I would like it to be out for Adepticon.
Oh, totally.
But-
right? Oh, that'd be
That'd
sweet.
be fucking shmoney.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Sell it there, dude. It'd be cool, too. People can freaking pick it up. Last year, 2 years ago, it was a demo. Remember that?
No, that was last year. Was it last year or
No,
the year
2
before
years ago, there was a little
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Beksinski table that I was standing next to, and it was like, play the game. But
no
like,
one played it.
Nobody played it because it was just a random board with midis, I think.
Yep.
And that was just like,
then last
we
year you
didn't
had,
know how to play it either. We were
You had
like,
to run
okay.
to the store and get
And
extra
buy more
like
copies.
3 times.
Yeah.
Good problem to
Crazy.
have.
That's crazy.
Great problem to have. Great problem to have.
Yeah. Besides that, though, the T-shirts. I'm working on the T-shirts.
Yeah.
Which
Those will be out.
They'll be out when you hear this. They'll already be out.
Yeah.
But they look fresh.
They look so cool. I think they're coolest ones yet.
They're pretty sick. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
I just want to wear one.
I know, right?
I want one for me.
I know.
And that's
Before
how
I
I
was like,
designed
the
the
bolt
shirts.
thrower might be the best one that I've seen, but now I'm like, dude, this one's the coolest. You'll see.
Yeah, you'll
you'll have
already
have
have
seen.
And you should buy them
You should buy them because
Yeah.
it's help offsetting our costs of moving.
for this
Yeah.
new studio and everything involved with it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great studio.
It's
though.
gonna be
I'm
awesome.
so freaking stoked to like get organized there and figure out like. We were talking today about, and we won't get too into it because listeners will start to glaze over, but building shelves that were just like personal project shelves that you can like kind of pull down and bring over to the painting table and work on it, rather than having just tables that belong to like, this is Paul's table and Paul's stuff is all over it. I think it'll just help because then it's like Seb can come in and they can use a random table in the corner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, though, that's down the line. Next episode will be there, and you'll be like, oh, I can hear the difference in acoustics there. Wow, it sounds so much warmer and more inviting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Certainly. On 100%.
Hopefully, there's not a guy slamming weights and like listening to techno music really loud.
Hopefully there is.
Excuse me, can you please turn it down? I'm going to smash your models, kid. What do you think you're doing over there? Breaks
It's a
down the
gun.
wall. Oh, no.
That'd be cool.
I hope we don't get killed by the buff man in the next room. Speaking of buff men,
Yes.
So you guys were at an event down in Texas, right?
We were.
Because I noticed you guys weren't here this weekend, and I was like, "Where are my friends? Where did they
Yeah.
go?" And you guys were MIA.
We were in Houston.
Oh,
We
really?
missed the extravagant event of Chain's CD release.
Yeah.
That was down the street from my house.
Shout out! Yeah, it would have been a quicker plane ride to go there.
A lot quicker.
And no layovers.
No layovers. One thing I want to say, after flying Frontier and Spirit, they gaslit Steve and I every step of the way.
What does that mean?
The ticket would say boarding is at 4:00. We would
Okay.
get there at 3:00 and they'd be boarding.
They'd already be boarding.
no, boarding early.
We
I
would
was like,
get
yeah,
to
everybody
a gate.
boards late. That's fine.
Get to a gate. It would just
Wow, there's no one here yet.
not
Wow.
be our gate. Every fucking stop we went to, there was just a misinformation. Just every step.
How
of
much
the
were
way.
the plane tickets?
I don't know. Stupid cheap.
It was like
Okay,
$300 and
Yeah.
something dollars for both
For round
tickets.
trip?
Yeah.
Oh, for both tickets?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
From Boston
I'll
to
deal
Houston.
with it.
Yeah.
I'll
I
deal
mean,
with it.
it's like if you have a brain, like we were able to figure it out, but like I can see people like in parent mode, just like stressing about a
could you
vacation,
imagine?
and then being like kids are freaking out, and then you're like, where the fuck's our plane? And
Missing your flight.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see how Home Alone would happen.
yeah, Steve and I watched a family get split up at the gate, and little kids screaming and crying
Because the
It was
mom
just,
was going somewhere else.
It was just like,
Oh, yeah,
God,
that-
dude,
you
this
know,
is
wow.
horrendous.
I really liked how we had a one-way flight, like a non-stop flight coming home that
Yeah.
then was changed to a layover in Florida.
Fort Lauderdale.
After we made fun of Chris and Cole flew in and they went to Florida first and then to us.
Ohio to Florida to Houston.
And when we
Nice.
flew in, we flew Ohio to Houston.
Yeah.
And we're like, why did you guys do that? That seems really stupid. And they're like, I don't know, it was the cheapest ticket.
Yeah.
And then we made fun of them, and then lo and behold, our
way
trip
home,
home
yeah.
did the same thing.
We went Florida to Boston.
But when I booked that ticket, it said nonstop.
yeah,
It said
That's
it was a
crazy.
nonstop flight.
it was wild.
Sorry, passengers. We're going to be making a quick little stopover. And,
stop down in Florida. I hope you don't mind.
It's 48 hours layover.
Another-
Get yourself comfortable.
Another fun little thing I wanted to point out, we get in through the metal detector, and I look over, and there's a guy holding up a switchblade to Steve. And Steve forgot his knife in his pocket, and they were just like, what the fuck?
I was like, you guys can just keep that. I forgot it because I was wearing the pants I'm wearing now, which they have a carpenter pocket.
Yeah.
And I keep a knife in there. And I just,
Oh, that sucks.
I was pissed.
Can you imagine,
It was a
dude?
good knife, too.
2 years ago,
Yeah.
you would have been fucking executed
Yeah.
in the airport.
I would have
Really?
been held in. I would have been
Yeah.
held in a room for
For-
3 hours.
For our non-American listeners, it's true. That's how it is.
It would have been a fucking thing if
Yeah.
you got caught with that a couple years ago.
They would have loaded you on the plane like you're,
Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter.
chained to
Yeah.
the ceiling and shit. Yeah.
He had a knife. Oh, understood.
Oh, so
I
sorry.
get
Yeah.
that. I get that. We'll stay out of his
Shame,
way.
shame,
Yeah.
shame.
Yeah. Shame. You just have a guy there on guard, like you're just in a cage. Let me out of here! Let me out of here! That'd be cool. That's what they should do. All these like flights on the, you like get the videos of people freaking out on the flights.
You act up, you get chained to the ceiling.
Yeah,
of the
they just
flight.
have like a cool like dungeon
Those are
style
my
prison.
nightmare, dude.
What?
getting on a plane and a guy acts
Oh
up.
God.
Acting
And
out
then
on a
have to
fucking
land
plane
or something?
That or like the fucking kids that are like, we're gonna sing for the whole plane. No, I'll be the guy that acts up if the band decides to choir on the fucking plane.
What do you think happens if a guy gets up and starts going nuts, but then you get up and you beat the shit out of him?
I don't
you think
know.
you
Good
get in trouble
questions.
for that?
Good
I
question.
don't know. We gotta hit up World Star and figure it out.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should
they
figure
have
that
enough videos.
Like, do
They're
the flight
experts.
attendants, are they just like, yeah, you're good. You get. We're actually going to
you.
up you to first class.
Yeah, you gotta pass.
And everybody in the plane cheered.
Claps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be on a plane where everybody, you know what I mean? There's this plane that people get like diarrhea, dude. They shit. You know what I mean? They've had to have forced landings because like people shit their pants and
What?
stuff. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Listeners, you guys know what I'm talking about. These two don't believe me, but Google it, dude. Google it.
If my flight had to land in an emergency because a guy's shitting his pants,
So I can't hold it. It's just
brother, there's a bathroom in the back.
Well,
of
I
the
know
plane.
there's the bathroom. What if you miss the bathroom and then it's just in
What
your
do you
seat,
mean
dude?
miss the bathroom?
Like you just like I don't know. Dude, I wish Phil was here because he would be like, yes, that is 1000% happened to me. I'm sure. Where it's just like
Happened to Phil.
Yeah. You wake up and you had like bad. I don't know. You saying he had some sort of rough food the other day. It would like caused him intestinal anguish.
IBS.
Yeah, and so sometimes it's an emergency, and there's a line in the bathroom.
There
Dude,
is like
you get poop in one of those little bags.
there is a smell like mandate for airports and airplanes.
Whoa!
If you smell bad.
If you smell bad or like too strong of perfume or something, they can.
No shit.
That was the girl I sat next to on the flight to fucking Texas.
You should have hit the little bell and said, "Excuse me, ma'am."
Well,
this person next to me smells really good.
so someone smelled really bad, and I think she got up and went to the bathroom and sprayed herself so she didn't have to smell the really bad poop smell.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I leaned against the wall on my first flight, and I like instantly smelled like someone
I hate
shit
that
on the
smell,
fucking
dude.
the plane. But then I was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna get pink eye. I just like touched the
everywhere.
fucking plane. Yeah, so I'm just like sitting now with my hands in my lap, not moving for the rest of the flight, just like I'm never flying this fucking plane again. I'm never doing this shit ever again.
Gotta get one of those like plague doctor masks. Just shove a bunch of flowers in the front. This is what I have to do on an airplane now. Yeah, this is what I gotta do.
But drama aside, we landed in Houston.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Got a rental car.
We got a rental car.
Again?
They tried
You
to give us
guys.
what's that car? The Volt.
Yeah.
Chevy Volt?
Chevy Volt, or the five of us could pay what $9 extra each.
Yeah.
To get a fucking like
Ram 2500.
a real
truck.
kid killer, dude. Like a fucking,
No
yeah.
shit. Wow, did you do it?
If the Griffin stood in front of the
cool.
truck, you could not see the Griffins.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was kind of bullshit though, because I paid when I reserved the thing. It said 5-passenger vehicle, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
they
this is
didn't
what
say
I got."
comfortable.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, "Does that
Yeah.
even fit 5 people?" He goes, "No, you really want to get a bigger car." And I was
I
like,
bet.
"Oh, cool." So I paid for something that you guys don't really have.
Yeah, well, they probably have it, but it's just like this is a 8-person vehicle and it's a minivan, or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
I would have taken the minivan.
Oh, dude, all day. Minivans
But
are the greatest. We were
The
talking about
Ram was
sick.
It was sick.
it. Did you guys do any like sick burnouts or anything? Go mudding in
we
it?
really should have burned out in it. Honestly,
I mean,
I guess you're in Houston. There's probably not a lot of mud to ride your truck through.
there was a lot of flattened land.
it was very
Yeah.
flat.
Burnouts, baby.
Fun fact, I didn't know this. Houston has no zoning laws at all.
What does that mean?
So you'll see like the most shitty,
Oh.
broken down house with a guy smoking a cigarette inside it. Like you could see
My
him
kind
just
of vibe.
sitting in a plastic chair through the front door that doesn't exist.
My kind of a man.
The very next property will be like a $3 million ranch with like spotlights moving and like
A giant
a
fence.
giant fence with a blacked out Escalade.
Air raid siren.
The next door neighbor will be a Burger King.
That's kind of neat.
The next door neighbor will be like just,
Pentecostal church.
just like the
That's
craziest
cool.
layout you've ever. Yeah,
It's
And
like
every building looks different.
Yes.
Every building architecturally looks very different.
it's like a bag of munchies. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're gonna get. You reach your hand in, it could be anything.
That's
Yeah.
a really good analogy
Yeah,
for Houston,
and-
Texas.
Aren't munchies delicious? Aren't they
I do
like
love-
so good?
I love when
know?
you get a Cheeto. The Cheeto is my favorite part of a
I'm more of a Chex Mix guy.
Well, same difference, dude.
you
Lots
can't
of good
eat a
stuff
Cheeto.
together
Chester's
in one.
Cheeto.
No, you're right. You're right.
However, if I only had Chex Mix to eat forever and I had to live in Houston, I'd probably be like, all right, this is a lot of Chex Mix, and I would rather just
Tex-Mex,
have like
baby.
a bag of potato chips
Yeah.
sometimes.
Tell them about where we went the first day.
Um,
We picked up Evan at It's What Evan
Yep.
Tax,
Yep.
Whoop.
and the Cole brothers.
and then
Brothers Griffin.
the Cole brothers.
I always say it that way, and I don't know why.
we met Cole first. So,
And I
you know.
think that's why. It's how it
Yeah, we
happens.
did. Sorry, Chris.
Sorry.
Yeah, we went. Well, we stopped at the Airbnb. We were locked out, so we went and grabbed the Griffins.
It was definitely my fault.
Yeah, we were playing with the keypad.
Yeah, there's a keypad that no one warned us to not touch.
So you
And
just
then the
kept
deadbolt.
putting in.
Because the lock, we couldn't figure out,
The lock had a like a dial to like a combination.
but you
lock.
couldn't see it. You had to like move like a little rubber piece to be
Yeah, it
able
had
to
like a
see
plastic cover over it. So they say the combination is like 157.
This is like an escape room.
But there's a
you guys are in.
keypad on top of the lock. So everyone is on the keypad going 157, enter, 157, enter. And it's like, and we're like, what the fuck?
And then the deadbolt locks.
Yeah. And the deadbolt locks.
Beep, beep,
and then
2 guns come out of holes.
Yeah. Welcome to Houston, motherfucker. And then it was just like, oh, there's a different lock. We're bad. Yeah.
Oops.
Guy wasn't answering, so we're like, we're going to go pick up the boys. That was a fucking disaster.
Oh, dude, I could kill someone. I will kill someone.
You guys always have the craziest traveling stories.
We were on the phone for 45 minutes just circling this airport
in traffic.
Like dead stop traffic around this
in your big
airport.
Ram.
Yes.
In the big Ram. So imagine Logan. Imagine, or even
Bradley.
Hartford.
Yeah.
Bradley, okay.
Imagine the airport.
Yeah.
But imagine there is construction everywhere. And imagine also there are 50 cops directing traffic everywhere, but all of them are doing kind of a bad job the whole time.
Oh, that's cool.
There's there's at least 3 cops in eyesight. One of them's telling you turn, the other one's saying come on, hurry up, and the other one behind it is like, what's going on? Let's go. And you're just like, what the fuck do I do?
That's cool.
I'm yelling at Steve. I'm like, move over. He's like, I can't. I'm like, well, you're in the wrong lane anyway. Go over here.
This sounds like the best RPG ever. We should do a one shot that's just welcome to Houston.
It was pretty funny. Once we got everyone though, we went to the Hobbit Cafe.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell? Should I tell them what it was?
It was a shithole. There's nothing to talk about.
So, have you ever heard of the Twin Peaks restaurant?
Yeah, of course. I've been there.
Which one?
The diner?
No.
What are you talking about? Twin Peaks? There's a Twin Peaks themed restaurant?
It's, like the Twin Peaks.
Yeah, like Twin Peaks.
Oh, it's like a
Hooters
Like
situation.
a Hooters bar.
But like
Yeah,
more of
I
like
don't
a
like it.
more of like a diner restaurant-y thing than like a chicken place.
You got to make money
So imagine,
somehow.
so like Hooters, like weird aesthetic. That's almost what we were at but it was a Hobbit cafe.
So
Wait.
okay, listen. This restaurant has existed since like 77 or something, right?
Okay.
It is the only restaurant in the U.S. to be licensed by the Tolkien estate to sell Lord of the Rings inspired food.
JRR went there and was smoking his pipe and said, "This sounds great."
Who?
Load him up. JRR.
JRR.
All right.
JRR. This is for God-given name.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
John Ronald Rolfe.
so you'll have like a Balrog burger or like Radagast's black bean burger or the Orc Poppers.
Give me one of the Balrog burgers.
Yeah.
I'm feeling spicy today.
That's what I got.
That's what Steve got.
Nice.
The picture of him unhinging his jaw.
Yeah. Like a snake.
It was a big burger.
Here's the thing, though. We're of the generation, some of us read the books, right?
Yeah.
But we've all seen the movies.
Yeah. You read the book, now see the movie.
New Line Cinema owns the rights to the movies. They did not license anything to this restaurant. So just imagine a mom and pop diner that has just like Lord of the Rings posters from Walmart all over the place with cardboard cutouts of Aragorn that have been like covered in shit and piss and beer and whatever else.
This is the weirdest place. I don't know if people understood the Twin Peaks references before. Means like Hooters,
Like a Hooters vibe, yeah.
Boobs.
Yeah.
Yes, boobs.
So it's like
It's
I
not them wearing,
can't
like-
even. I still can't get a picture in my head of what this sounds insane.
I don't know if it's the girls working there sexualizing themselves to get better tips, or
Well,
if
if it's
that's
like
just
Hooters,
like
you know?
because if you go to their Instagram, it's overtly sexual.
it's
on
overtly
purpose.
sexual.
The Hobbit Cafe.
The Hobbit Cafe Instagram, all the
Listener,
girls
check
are
this
making
out.
videos. I think it's the Hobbit Cafe on Instagram.
Yeah. Which, listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I think it's.
That's-
I just didn't expect it going to the fucking
You
Hobbit
walk in
Cafe.
and there's like a sick drawing of Gandalf, and you see Smaug on the roof, like in a blow up thing. You're like, oh, this is
But
fun.
then it's also
okay.
Hooters.
And then you walk in and it's like a shitty Hooters, and you're like, what the fuck is
That
going
is
on?
the wildest, dude. The Hobbit Cafe sounds crazy, dude.
That was a very weird vibe.
I think I spent $30 something on my Balrog burger meal.
Did you get
40.
fries?
did you pay at the table on the side, or Evan did?
I don't know. I just put cash on the table. I put two $20 bills
Oh,
down, and
yeah,
I said,
yeah.
"This covers me. I'm leaving."
Well,
This has
Evan,
been a ride.
I think I owe you for a Diet Coke.
Oh.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Oh.
Now I really have to pay the Evan tax.
Well, I will
the
say,
actual
Chris
evidence.
Acrylic gave me money. He gave me every dollar out of his wallet, and I don't think it was enough. And I was just like, "It's fine. It can just come out of my cash. Like I don't care."
I just want to get the fuck
I
out of
wanna
here.
leave.
Yeah.
So, Chris, when you hear this,
Yeah, motherfucker.
motherfucker.
Chris, bad boy.
Yeah,
Dude, already a crazy trip.
We're like, but it was cool to meet people we haven't met. We've like we've been talking to people online for a while. Or Sydney Ramp was there. Into the Great North was there. A bunch of people that we've always talked to, but never gotten to meet.
Got to see Isaac, Johnny, Eli.
Yep.
All the friends.
Everyone got the memo to grow out facial hair.
Good.
None of us pre-established this, but it was there. We finally left and then go.
Did you guys go to the game store?
We checked out the game store for a little bit. Steven met up with a friend, and then we kind of went our separate ways. And walking down Houston, we saw someone do a 360 burnout in the middle of an intersection and left.
That's what we should have done.
We saw a guy ride up over a curb, put it in reverse, and then ride up over the curb again.
Yeah, just to prove that he could do it.
Pretty much.
That's so cool.
It was
check this out.
That's so neat. I love when people
Cole
just
and
get
I are
real crazy.
We're walking, we're like, this town just sucks. And then we're seeing all this stuff happen, and we're like, this town really just sucks.
No, that rocks, dude. I love that kind of stuff.
While you guys were doing that, I went to a barcade with my friend Danny, who lived in New York, and then she's moves all over all over the world. So she happened to be in Houston at the same time. So I met up with her, and we went to a barcade that I always forget how much arcades suck until I'm there.
I think you're just old.
What do you
now.
mean? Wait, so you forget how much they suck until you're there? Oh, and then you remember
They're not
how
fun.
much they suck. Well, I guess it depends.
So they had every classic, Simpsons, the Ninja Turtles games. They had a million arcade cabinets.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I would play a game for 7 minutes and be like, all right, I'm not dead, but I'm not having fun anymore. I have to go find a new game. And I did that until I hit the Mario Kart game, and then I played that for probably the longest amount of time.
We're all Candy Crushified, so you know what I mean? It's got to be the instant grat. It's got to have to be the instant grat for me, dog.
Yeah. My brain's just broken now.
Yeah, you're trying to scroll, and you're touching the screen of the arcade cabinet, trying to scroll up on it.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Why isn't this working? Why can't I get to another game using this? And I understand that. That would be frustrating.
Taking iPad Kid to a classic arcade.
Yeah. Why isn't this working? Just shaking the machine. You get killed by an arcade cabinet because you're shaking.
It falls
machine.
on you. Yeah. Saw that Tyson fight.
Oh,
disappointing.
Okay.
We won't talk about it, but it sucked.
I didn't even know it was happening until
it was happening.
It was over.
It was over, and somebody was just like, "Oh, Mike Tyson."
Did you see this 30-year-old kid beat up a 60-year-old guy?
I was like, "Wait, Mike Tyson, the guy, I was like, the
ear
old guy."
Yeah.
I was like, "Mike Tyson rocks," and then I found out it was one of those the
YouTube guy.
Yeah, YouTube guy.
He lost.
And I was like, "This
by
is
3
insane."
points.
What a world we live in. Next, Mr. Beast is going to be out there fighting.
It's going to be you.
YouTube content.
Yeah,
That's a thing. There's a YouTube boxing charity event that happens.
That's cool. Is Mr. Beast fighting?
I'm sure he wouldn't.
Who would be Mr. Beast fighting?
Terry of Hive Scum Podcast.
Do you think so?
Dude,
Yeah.
I would love that.
I think you got 2 feet on him though. So
Terry, we'll train you up. You'll beat the shit out of Mr. Beast.
Listen, I'm not too worried about Mr. Beast, but I appreciate the support.
yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to our very eventful
sorry.
night. No, you're okay. There's
So the game store.
Asgard Games.
Asgard Games, also
Great
just
name, right?
a very cool store.
Yeah.
The layout is a perfect game store. They have
Sweet.
They have a bar in the store, but it's done good. Not like any of the-
Tastefully.
yeah, not any of the ones around here. The way you could get into it, they had an open tab as well.
Oh,
So just drop your card. and
Someone
freaking-
that like me that does not drink, I'm like, I don't really give a fuck about an open tab. Pringles, Liquid Death,
Coke Zero.
Okay.
Coke Zero, all day long. I'm just ripping these things and I go back there and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get fucked by this game store upcharge. I know it.
yeah.
No,
No, it was
Not
pretty
bad.
fair. I think
Everything
it
was
was
fair
$3
there.
candy and
Yeah.
$1.50 sodas.
Shout out Luke. He was just one of the coolest dudes. I talked to him all weekend long just about the store in general and the community and everything that they had there. Their Magic cards were excellently priced. I picked up staples for fucking 10 decks. I was so
Jeweled
stoked.
Lotus.
No, Terry.
Cat. Or for your Mr. Krabs deck. You got a couple of those secret layers.
It's not out yet, but don't worry. So yeah, I mean, we just hung out there and then went to the Airbnb, caught up with Steve again, and then We all
into the B&B.
we all made our war
We all made
bands.
our war bands the night before.
Classic hive scum.
Now here's the thing, right? You say that.
I do say that.
You say that, and
I
we're
say
like,
that.
oh fuck, I don't know, Evan, hold our hand through Necromunda, please.
It wasn't even Necromunda.
Well, yeah. So the next day, though, we get to the game store. We're the first people there.
Yes. We were the most prepared people in the room.
except
boys,
except
good
for Dave
boys.
Taylor,
Yes, except for Dave Taylor.
Which-
he was there actually before us.
which I don't think a Hive Scum podcast needs to say this, but Dave Taylor is the sickest dude.
Yeah, he rocks.
Just genuinely stoked on the hobby.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of his book line at all. It's like
Dave Taylor's.
Dave Taylor
The Art
Miniatures.
Of.
Yeah, the Art of series. It's probably the reason we're recording this right now, given Terry and I originally bonding over one of the books.
That's
but
true. That is true.
I mean, like, he's just a genuine guy through and through.
Yeah.
He was just
Has a cool accent.
cool accent,
Has
picking
that-
up models.
Has
was
that
just-
sweet bread line. Killer Dave's.
Yeah.
Same
definitely.
guy, right?
No, that guy's actually a bad guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Killer Dave from Killer Dave's Bread is a bad guy.
Weird.
I think he's got a crazy drug problem. Is in and out of jail all the
Should
time.
he fight Mr. Beast?
Yes.
Killer Dave versus Mr. Beast?
That's
Yes.
a cool lineup.
That's like a
That'd make
celebrity
good
death
flyer.
match, like a claymation thing.
We should get into celebrity deathmatch again. Start
Dude.
making models for it.
Dude,
Right?
Celebrity Kit Bash.
Dude, yeah, you smash him with a
Celebrity Kit Bash
hammer.
is Very good. Where were we? Oh yeah, Dave Taylor's a very good guy.
Yeah,
Not from Killer Bread.
Not from
Sorry.
Killer Bread. No. Very cool guy. So yeah, we get in there the next morning with him finally. Excuse me. And everyone else slowly rolls into the event.
Yeah.
Everyone's mostly on time.
Wow. You will not on timers. Shame.
But then everybody cracks open the pamphlets and they start making their war bands.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, "Ah, dude,
I was sure that it said be at the place for 9.
we were there.
Yeah,
We
well,
were there. Luke was there. He let us in. We were all
know,
there.
punk
So,
time.
you know,
Everybody's on punk time.
It was
these
definitely
days.
punk time. And then it was like, okay, the Wires did a cool little speech. They
Really?
They played us a little sound clip that Greg will absolutely yell at me because I do not remember.
It
what
was
it's
an
from.
audio recording from a book.
It's from
This message will repeat.
yes, it's from
Thousands
Tyler is
have
Hard at
died.
Painting. I believe it's one of the guys from or one of the book readers. Greg's gonna fucking kill me.
Sorry,
it's someone
Greg.
from Cadaver Records, I believe.
Greg, why don't you just tell us? Do you got service? Call
No.
Greg. Call Greg on the phone.
No.
But you could have him send it to you. Maybe I'll slot it in
Yeah, there you
right
go.
here.
Right here.
Hey, this is Greg Wire. What Gage intended to say was it was a reading of a poem called Obstructions to a Dream, written by Thomas Ligotti from his collection Pictures of Apocalypse.
So after that recording, they were like, okay, everyone go grab a tarot card.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it corresponds to the board you're playing on.
Oh, I saw that. That's a great freaking idea.
It was a great idea, and it worked perfectly. So people are like kind of walking around, like who's where, whatever.
I will say I was confused because the tarot card did not match the scenario that you were playing though.
Yes.
And I was
Oh.
like, why do you guys do that?
Yeah. So the scenario are the same names as the cards.
Cool.
So confusing on some boards, some weren't.
I was a little
but-
lost.
Yeah.
but me and Grant figured it out.
So yeah, you played Grant first.
Oh,
You wanna talk about that?
dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, I played Grant first.
What was Grant's warband?
Grant rocks.
They were a bunch of. They're called the Thunder Warriors,
Dude, what a guy.
and they're goblins that worship the Emperor via his toenail in a giant vat that they carry around.
Dude, Grant is the coolest.
And they're freaks. They're like little power armor goblins with like spears and shit. And some of them rode dirt bikes. Like they had the jackal dirt
What?
bikes. It was very cool. He had 15 models. I think I brought 7. So
Yeah.
he had so many guys, but he rule of cooled, like all of them suck shit. Like all of their stats were really bad. So my guy would shoot one and they would just explode.
What was
Oh,
your?
that's just
what was your
fun.
warband?
I made like a navigator house. I'm not going to punish you with my lore.
Punish us.
no,
punish.
it's
A
okay.
little punishment.
It's
Come
okay.
on.
A
An
little bit.
elevator punishment.
They are a navigator house that are drawn to, if you look at the Vastarian lore, the whole 20 pages of it that is on the Between the Bolter and Me blog.
Yeah, get on it.
There's a lighthouse that is illuminating, and there's a psychic awakening. And right now, my navigator house is all psychers, and their third, the mind's eye that they have to be able to see in the warp is being blinded by the lighthouse.
Oh,
so
cool.
they're going there to figure out what's going on because they're taking it as like a call from the Emperor.
And you were
Cool.
good faction?
I don't know if you'd call. I don't know if
Yeah,
anyone's
I was going to
good.
say.
Yeah.
That was kind of neutrally sounding. So, I mean, the Astronomicon, is like the beacon of the Emperor.
Yep.
And then the Circuitrix Maledictum happened, which cut
yeah.
off the warp, or is a big rift that cut off a whole bunch of fucking areas. So the whole story of the Vastarian lighthouse is they're lighting it to
rejoin everything.
Keep saying it's true north to the Astronomicon, because people are lost in the warp.
Cool.
So Steve being blinded by it is a little edgewalkery of if they're good or bad.
Yeah.
Well, one of my saint from my warband was technically a demon host, so he was kind of possessed by the warp. I used a demon host model where there's faces coming out of his skin
nice.
and shit, and he's chained up.
That's cool.
So my psyker was I'm not going to get into it. Actually, I'm not going to keep talking about
You
it.
have
little
to.
bit.
You have to.
Yeah. A little, Steven, please. Our listeners, that's what they're saying right
Okay.
now. Oh, I hope Steve tells us about his
No, they
lore.
don't. No, they don't.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Oh, the fingers are crossed. Yeah. So their saint is like a guy that when the beacon went off, everyone was, the psychic energies are increased everywhere. Everyone's becoming more psychically attuned in some way, and when that happened, a rift opened. Their main navigator becomes possessed by a demon, like a warp force.
Right.
But everyone looks at it as he's being talked to by the Emperor.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so cool.
So they chain him up and they're like, no, he's good. He's just so powerful now. We need to get to the planet.
like the guys
Figure
on
it
the plane.
out. Yeah.
Like the guy with the knife on the plane.
Yeah. Me on a plane. with a
He's
knife.
too powerful.
Steve's demon host is just a guy who took a switchblade through a metal detector.
Chain him up. He's too powerful.
Yeah. I didn't really go in with where I sat, whether they were for the lighthouse or it was more they were called to this planet and they're
Yeah.
just figuring it out as they're here.
Dude, they're fucking around.
So you and Grant, what was your first scenario?
We had there was an envoy, I believe it was a psyker envoy that had information about the lighthouse, and we're fighting to vie for control for him, which at the third mission, Grant had control of him. He had a bunch of guys. I was like, oh, all right, good game. And he's like, no, we got another round. And then we went another round, and I blew up all of his guys with plasma pistols, and then I ended up winning. But it was because you would roll at the end of the turn to see who controlled the guy for the turn. So he would run up and hit someone, or then Grant would control him and he runs the other way, and the guy's moving around the map, and then eventually Grant just fucking killed him.
Yeah.
So he's just on the floor and you have to drag him out of the building. It was pretty fun. It was so loose though. The first mission is really the only thing that it was here's your card, go play the mission.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if how the rulings went for you for that first one.
What do you mean?
Mine changed throughout the day. So my first scenario was with Nick, Modern Synthesis.
Yes. So
the
cool.
Fucking Tyranid God.
Yeah.
Also, he doesn't let on to it on his public persona. Nick is a lore nerd for sure with Freak Inc. 28 culture. He did his
really?
homework before showing up. So that was very cool. I was very stoked to talk to
Yeah,
him.
if you guys somehow don't know his YouTube channel, it's Modern Synthesis.
Mr. Pink. But he was a blast to play in the first round. He had played Necromunda before. I have not.
Yeah.
I was I played the most bastardized version of this ever, when I was 16, and it was...
And you're doing it again today.
I was it's essentially D&D back then, so however crunchy you want to go with this, I'm cool with. If you want to just roll 4-ups for the whole game, I'm cool with that. Our first scenario was, there's a bunch of psychers walking around this beautiful board made by Tim, Howling Mad Looping.
The sacrifice board.
Yes, yeah. And there's psychers just kind of wandering around. Every turn, they just kind of scatter. And our two warbands are on either side, and we have to figure out... I'm sorry, they're civilians. And we have to figure out if they're psychers. And it's kind of for my interpretation of reading it, it's kind of like a... what's the fucking movie? Arresting people for crimes they're going to commit in the future.
Oh,
Black
Minority
Knight?
Report.
Minority Report. What?
What?
So we're going over to these civilians, and I was telling Nick, I'm oh, this is Cop Simulator, dude. You just beat them up and then plant evidence on them after, whatever you want.
He's a psyker. Get him.
So he goes over to a psyker and just like punches the guy, like doesn't really do anything. The psyker punches back and just kills his guy. It was like, oh shit, okay. So I just fucking flamethrowed a guy and then
that's cool.
Then ran over and then rolled to see if he was a psyker. Yep, he was. So grab the dog tags or whatever, arrest the guy and move on. He arrested another guy. And then we kind of tied because it was once the two are found. And we didn't.
Were you both like Inquisitor warbands?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So my warband,
Yeah, what's your lore?
my lore.
I had to tell people my
please,
story.
I hope Gage tells us his lore.
What the fuck? So my warband was named Our Lady of Anguish, and it was because I had this really cool like Admech-y looking woman that I really wanted just her to lead the warband. So my lore was she kind of went around to all these like war bands that she knew were like losing in different fights or whatever and just taking the servitors from them because I just wanted to use all the servitor models that I had. So she's just kind of like a island of like broken toys type mentality, just like picking up these like people and bringing them to the warband. What I didn't realize though is one of the Inquisitors that I had like a Santa cloak, and when I painted it red, Danny comes down and she goes, "Oh, that's such a cool thing because this guy looks like Santa." And I just went, "Well, I don't want to play this warband anymore, and I want to throw them in the trash."
God.
But so they were just just a bunch of shitty servitors. I wanted them to be shitty as possible. I went WYSIWYG with the weapons. I didn't realize it, but I only gave one guy had a pistol, one guy had a gun, and one guy had a flamer. And the four other models had nothing. So
sweet.
they had hands.
I'm gonna hit you with my wrench.
That was pretty much it.
Except for the one that had that red nose that if it got
No,
foggy,
shut
you
the
could
fuck
kinda,
up.
like,
No.
it could
Guide your way.
No.
Yeah.
I
like that model though.
Yeah, so that was kind of it. I really wanted to push myself on not using my Comfort Averland Sunset, and I did. And I wasn't exactly stoked on the warband, but I had fun. That's all that really mattered, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
guess.
painting and building the models was the funnest part for
Oh
me.
yeah. So that first round was kind of just like real loosey goosey. We forgot injury rolls the whole game.
Oh, really?
Yep. We were just like, oh, he's knocked out. He's
dead.
unconscious. Just get him out of. Who cares?
Oh,
Yep.
that's really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
we
kinda
were just
nice.
like, whatever. Yeah, it was like hard mode.
I will say that was a thing that I really liked about the rule set was because in Mordheim it's like if you're face down you go face up in the recovery
Yes.
phase. In this it was if you're face down you could spend both your actions to stand up. If you were knocked down you could stand up and then still perform an action. It wasn't just you're out of the fight for the whole turn regardless.
And this was based off of the new Necromunda rule set.
It's Necromunda mixed with Mordheim.
Yes.
Is what
yeah.
Oh,
what it
cool.
was.
Trey did most of the mixing, and then I think Bill tweaked it a little bit. The wires had a little input, so it's a bastardization of all these different things.
Well, you just said three beautiful groups of people.
That's it.
Five people total. Sorry.
Yeah. So round 2, though, to what I was saying earlier, round 2 was
Do whatever you want.
go pick your own opponent.
Oh, nice.
I was like, okay, I really wanted to play Shane, the blind man.
Shane, please.
So I grabbed
Excuse me,
boyfriend
Mr. Shane.
and I didn't meet him prior to this. He was just kind of walking around. I didn't even know he was in the event. Grant also joined our table, and I was like, cool. It's a 3-player, whatever.
Oh, great.
And then we're like, Shane was pointing. He's like, well, this guy doesn't have an opponent. And I was like, bring him in. Who cares?
Yeah,
I didn't meet him yet. And he's like, oh, my name's Shane too. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking Lunax 7070,
Oh.
the true scale guy. That's
Oh.
what everybody knows him as, like the real true scale guy. And his
Cool.
models are the fucking most beautiful thing I saw. I was just like, what the fuck? I didn't know you were here. I was like, where are you from? He's like, Southern California. I'm like, what the fuck?
so
He is the
cool.
most Southern California
Yes,
guy
dude.
I've
He
ever
was just
met
like
in my life.
wandering in. Like he could have just been like a local, just like with how he like not disrespectfully, but like aloof he was. He was just like,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Hey, man, that western weather.
Yeah, and I was like,
It'll get you.
I was like, dude, you got the vibe. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, roll on up. And everything he did was just like, yeah, I'm gonna move this little guy over here, and it's just like this like elder titan just like walking, just like, okay, sure, yeah. Here's my shitty little servitor with no weapons.
Dude, sometimes I'm like, damn, I wish I lived in California. Speaking of, dude, man, sunshine, dude.
different mentality,
Blue
different vibe.
skies,
You know,
nice and warm.
No, I like the cold.
5 times the cost of living.
Yeah, but you know,
I like the hostility that New England brings.
I
Yeah.
know.
Keeps you
I
on your
know.
toes.
It does. It does. But sometimes I'm like, wow, there is a better way. Anyways, though.
But that one was a little more crunchy for our rules, but still way more narrative based. Shane made this beautiful like pyramid of skins out of like construction paper
you
and
showed
shit.
me
Yeah,
this.
and the mission we had, we were supposed to. In the canon, you're supposed to go get this blood from like a dead inquisitor or something. You're supposed to get the vials because they're holy. And we were like, Shane, why don't we just use your shrine? And we're all trying to peel skins off this thing because it's holy. And so we're like, sure. I was kind of placed in a real shitty spot, so I couldn't really get to it because Grant's fucking motorcycles kept running over my guys. And just, like,
Dude, that's
It's
so
really
cool.
awesome.
he was like bump jumping over all my guys, like at speed bumps. Yeah. And then Shane's like true scale elder gods are like cornering me on the other side. I'm like,
Real
well,
Batman Forever vibe, guys.
Dude,
just launching
yeah.
off shit.
So that was a little crunchier, but your second game was like rules as written, right? Or
Every game I played was rules as written.
okay. I mean that's like kind of what we were saying. Like
I play by the book.
it was by the vibe, right? It was like, well,
Yeah.
Well, because I don't.
Which I like for an event. Like, that's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah.
Well, when I roll up to the table, I'm like, "How do you want to play this?" And they say whatever. It's like, well, I'm going to run it from the book
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it tells me what to do.
All right, 4 ups then, guy. No saves.
says Terry.
Yeah.
But
4 ups for everything.
game 2 was
Swish.
because game 1 wasn't very narrative. It was just us like playing a game.
Yeah.
Game 2 was with
Game 2.
because I think I played 3 games that day.
Yeah.
So game 2 was Evan, Cole, and Chris, and it was
You guys were in the board you and I played on later.
no.
Oh.
I played on that board twice, but I think the first game was that battlefield one with the trench running through
Yes,
it next
yes.
to the board you played on.
Yeah.
Which I took photos of all the boards. I was going
Yeah.
to make a blog post at some point on
Bill did a
Highstorm.
great job.
Well, I was going to do a posting our war bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Bill
it's
rocks.
all documented very well on
Yes,
on
between the
web.
Bolter and me as well.
Yeah. But it was on that board, and it was Chris and Cole playing against each other.
Yes.
And it was them like fighting, and me and Evan came in the middle of the game, and we were like coming down the roads.
So that's okay. So
Cool.
that's why prior to you getting there, I could hear their game. They were 4-ups.
oh, really?
They were just like, yeah, whatever. Like just
Yeah,
two brothers
boy.
playing.
yeah,
you know?
two brothers
Yeah,
playing
just-
in the basement while
yeah.
mom's cooking dinner.
Yeah, they were just like, yeah, whatever. This guy's dead. No, I shoot at you. No, whatever. And then you guys dropped. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, here's the rule books, motherfucker.
Yeah, Evan, because there's like, it's a big trench with these broken roads leading to a shrine on like one corner, and Chris was deployed by the shrine, and Cole was like kind of like coming across the trench to him, and Evan came from one of the broken roads, and I came from the other broken road through like a ruin, and we just started pretty much like pincer moving on Cole's warband. And I only brought like 3 guys, but Evan brought all of his guys. So it just like, my guys got shit on really fast. But it was cool because all this is happening. And I guess in the game prior, Chris played with Martin.
Yep.
And one of Martin's guys like had like a Christian wafer style thing where
Yes.
the sacrament, and Chris's guy eats it in our game. And he goes over, well, what happens? And Martin gives him a model. And it's
Yeah.
like, all right, your guy turns into this now. And it's just a big freaky monster that's just randomly running around, just smashing people. And like,
That's cool.
it was pretty cool.
Leave it to Martin, you know?
yeah.
My saint died at one point, like very, very fast. And everyone was like, oh, no, he can come back. He's in the warp. And then we had Grant pick the model up and like put it somewhere else on the board. Like
Yeah.
he like dematerializes and comes back.
Right.
It was a cool game though, trying to just like get across the board to the next game that we played later that day, where it was the 4 of us in the bunker, the one that we played on.
Yes. Yeah, your third. Yeah. So
Yeah.
my third game was against Luke, who is the manager of the store we were at. and Johnny, Witchhammer Studio.
Nice.
And Eli, Red Wet Skeleton.
Yes, which is really cool.
And,
also a cool hobbyist.
And that one was, I cannot describe to you, listener, you have to go look this up on Eli's page, or Between the Bolter Meats blog. Eli made this Leviathan, this metal walker.
It looks like the sandwalker that the Ewoks use in Star Wars. Like it came out of the bottom of the ocean though, covered in like shit.
I
and
believe
rust.
the lore is there's one psyker trapped inside this giant fucking like big AT-AT
sick.
walker thing. It's like
it's no joke. Like 3
shit.
feet across, a foot wide. It's like a foot tall.
Holy
And then it's on
shit.
2 foot high legs.
yes,
On a base.
it was like your child could fit in this thing. Like,
wow.
It was massive. And he painted it like it crawled out of the ocean. So I believe the story is the psyker's inside. It's like there's some like reflective like chamber. It's trapped in there. It has no idea. So it's essentially blind and deaf because it doesn't know what's going on. But he's just been screaming for 1,000 years, just powering this walker. And it has just emerged out of the ocean. And the mission was to like loot all the fucking shit off of it before it gets to the end of the board. And while you're there, 2 other warbands kind of show up. So
That's sick.
So it's like covered with like artifacts that it's been just like, because people thought it was holy for a while, so they're just like putting things on it, just like praying to it as it's just like this lumbering behemoth.
Crushes
just
your
like,
house, and you're like, "Thank you."
Yeah,
I
literally.
wasn't using that anyways.
Yeah. The Emperor protects. So my warband kind of gets split, trying to go loot these artifacts, and then Eli's just like undead mob, just mobbing on through.
Cool.
And I had a perfect shot lined up. I saw in someone else's game, I want to say it was Isaac's game. I was just walking by, and he like purposely he had this little robot, like a Wall-E thing that would just like flamethrow, but he kept lining up like 12 models under one flamer template. And I was like, oh, I got to try that. So I put my flamer to just get like Eli's whole warband, and it was just like miss, like 1 damage,
Isn't
whatever.
Isn't that it?
Yep.
So then his guys come through and just shit on my guys. Just shit on them. And I was like, keeping the cannon, because I forgot that there was events the next day. And B, I was just like, no, like if they die, they die. Like, whatever. I don't care. I'm more of the narrative for this. No one's winning this event.
Yeah.
So like I have 2 guys just like going to loot things off this thing. They fail the agility checks every time, and the thing just fucking crushes my guys. It's just stomping on them. Eli's guys are just like eating my dudes. I'm just like, okay, cool.
Well, this is a fun day.
Yeah, so like my warband got like cut in half after that scenario.
Nice.
Johnny looted a ship, and very reminiscent of the Brothers event, gets in it, tries to fly it, can't fucking figure it out, and just like smashes into the side of it with this like flying ship. And then we were like, all right, well, what happens to this giant walker? And you ever see the video of people that kick like the Boston Dynamics dog, and it like pedals to the side?
Ugh.
We're like, that's what it does. And I was like, cool. So they moved it 6 inches, and like 3 of my models were underneath it. I'm like, well, they're just dead. I don't
They
care.
just died.
Yeah, I'm not even rolling. They're dead.
Wow.
I was like, cool. So I've got 3 models left for the rest of the event.
That's neat, though.
But I was like, this makes sense to me, you know? This fucking thing has been walking around for 10,000 years.
Totally.
Dude. What the fuck are your guys gonna do?
Yeah. The guys that I didn't give guns,
Yeah.
they don't care.
And that was your fault. I took plasma guns on every guy.
Yep. 2 types of gamers here. So then real quick, Tim was like, you want to just jam like a 4th game in real quick? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I go over to that one, and we play another game. Sorry, I had 4 models left after that. I go to play in Tim's game, and I just have all 4 of those guys just against like 3 of his guys. He ends up, the scenario was to try and just take out the other person's psyker. That was it. Right at the end, kind of just like us dueling, he knocks out my psyker in the very last combat and takes it. I was like, okay, well, here, the psyker's fucking gone.
Yeah.
It's not in my warband anymore. And he's just like, what? I'm like, whatever.
What?
So, what did we do that night after the event?
Went back to the Hobbit Cafe.
No, we joked about it, but it was like too dark. It was like, no.
You guys went to that bar Rutgers, and
Yes.
we went to Waffle House.
Yeah. I didn't want to eat just jelly, so I went to a place that
It was so good. It was me, Cole, Chris, Evan, and Trey went to Waffle House, and it was so good.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Dude, I want to experience Trey at a Waffle House.
Oh,
Like a fly on the wall. You just, hanging out.
beautiful, man.
Yeah, Rutgers was crazy. I didn't know that there was a thing as tabletop shuffleboard.
Oh, that's cool.
I learned about that. and
Oh,
I
you've
was-
never seen that before?
I've never seen that before. I was talking so much shit to Bill, and I was very mid at it.
Oh, you were hyping yourself up.
Yeah, I was like, Bill, I'm gonna
Well, that's what
fucking
happens,
crush you,
dude. It's like when you roll up with a flamethrower template and try and shoot a bunch of
And you
models
just
at
suck
once.
shit.
You
That's
suck
what
shit
happens.
at it. All right, so you guys got food and then went back the next day for more games?
Fourth game started the next day.
Fourth game?
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Or,
the
well,
official
yeah,
fourth
the
game.
official
Yeah.
fourth round.
Cool. 2 days.
And
2 days is sick.
2 days is very sick, and it was like very like you need to give time for people to chill in between these things. So that's why they were
Absolutely.
like, oh, it's got to be loosey goosey for the second scenario or whatever. Like, pick your opponent, and we're just gonna do whatever so people can talk. The next day was kind of the same thing, right? Just people just picked whoever and started playing.
Yes.
And I was like, I want to play Steve's Warband. So we kind of went over to
The Zone Mortalis board.
the Zone Mortalis board.
Ooh, nice.
And then I didn't know it at this point. Maybe you did, but they were like, okay, all of these boards are actually linked together.
I did know that.
yeah.
What do you mean linked?
So, like, the Zone Mortalis board is on the far end of the room, but that board is technically underneath the church. That is, like, it was three tables, right? Or 4? 5? I meant overall tables. Like the 4x8s.
4.
So there were 4 4x8s. The first one had this big, like, church board mixed with, like, it had, like, the big, like,
It was like a big battlefield
yeah, it was a battlefield, but there's a church in the corner. And then the next one next to it is another big battlefield.
with like a hangar in the corner.
Yeah. And then the middle table had the big hangar with the walkway that Bill built.
Yep.
And then that one was attached to another battlefield with a trench in it. And then the last table had, like,
Well, so the last one was when Johnny started bringing out the lighthouse.
the lighthouse was set up on its own table.
It was a 7-foot tall lighthouse.
Yeah.
Wow.
With like planks and walkways all around it that
Holy
you could walk
shit.
on and
It
fight
was
on.
sick.
and-
It was like that board from Adepticon. The, like, floating asteroid
Oh,
one.
yeah.
It was similar to how that was set up.
Johnny's
But it was huge.
Johnny's
it was
crazy.
so cool. And you can, like, look at it and you're like, that's garbage, that's garbage, that's garbage, that's a plastic card, that's a piece of cardboard. But it's so well done that, like,
Oh,
if
of
you're
course
not
it is.
looking for it, your eyes are just like, this is just a sick piece of art.
Of
Yep.
course it
He had lights in it. It was actually
Of
like
course he
the
did.
light.
Church window decals.
Yep. It was sick.
That is neat.
So that game was Steve, myself, Evan, and Grant
Yes.
again.
And then with
and Brad was GMing.
and was Eric? Oh no, Eric was in my game the night before because I
Yeah,
played
yeah,
that same map the night before, and we had to get data terminals with, like, Isaac played with us.
Yep.
It was Isaac, me, and
Weirding Wings.
Chris. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was us just getting data terminals with, like, their being cultists down there, and I ended up, I think, getting the most data terminals. So my guys are just stuck in this, like, basement under the church, and that led into the last game with Gage and everyone. And my guys are still wandering around trying to find their way out while all this shit is happening on the planet above them. They have no idea what's going on.
Oh,
Canonically, we said my guys kind of just wandered in from the church, and they're like, "We're just trying to hide." And then they hear the brap 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 of Grant's guys
Dirt
again,
bikes in
and
the
I'm like,
halls.
"No, not again!"
no.
Me and Evan kind of, like, our guys, like, locked eyes. We made cool tests, and we're like, all right, you're cool. Like,
Yeah.
we'll work together.
That was
Nice.
That was also a game where it was still rules as written, but also very role play heavy.
yes.
Like Brad was GMing. He's like, "Well, what are you doing to this guy?" Like the psyker sees you and is panicking, and it's like, "What are you doing?" My guy's like, hitting the flamethrower and running away because I hear the dirt bike that fucked me up yesterday down the hall."
So our mission was there was, like, 4 psychers that we could or could not interact with. It was like, if you want to engage with them, you can. But they're, like, running around like little scared guys. And then there was a big, like, block elevator in the center of the map that had, like, a door that you had to unlock with was the door unlocked? Or yeah, we had to unlock the door, and then you had to unlock the terminal to make the elevator
Make the
go
elevator
up.
go up.
So there was a big brawl just in that middle hallway because it was like room with the elevator. Across the hallway was a room with all the psychers. So the psychers are coming out, and then there's these cultists that are like kind of guarding them that we had to fight. Mm-hmm. It was just us shooting flamethrowers down the hallway, killing all the cultists.
But this was like a very like populated with NPCs and just like terrain, like a Space Hulk type build.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
very, very, very busy.
If you look on the blog, it's been at other events.
Mm-hmm.
This was used
Yeah, I was
at
gonna say.
Brothers of Prometheum. Or not, I'm sorry. This was used
there he
at
goes
the
again.
Hondius event.
Yes.
Yeah, because I played on that board, and
Yes.
I looked at it, and I was like, that looks really familiar. Okay, sweet. Okay, that wasn't crazy.
So yeah, he built a little elevator in the middle. After kind of fighting with everything, and then Steve's, I think you were the first one to see me. My guys were kind of just cowering.
Yeah.
And then you were
And
like,
my guy's like,
you guys cool? And we're like, we don't know.
my guy he felt a lot of pity for them. And then my guy's like head exploded because I don't remember what happened.
You miscast or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I went to cast a spell and my guy's head just blew up from the miscast. And,
Amazing.
like, in front of his guy that's just like,
I'm just freaking out. And then I step around the corner, and then there's a cultist step behind me. My model is perfectly facing Steve's guy, and Steve's guy pulls up his like plasma pistol, and my guy's just like,
oh, that's what it was. He blew himself up with the plasma pistol.
yeah.
That's
He's like,
what it was.
He's like, I accept my fate. Like, you could fucking kill me, sir. Like real, like, okay,
please.
yeah. And just like understanding that my guy sucks shit, and he's got a las rifle in this war that's happening. And then he goes to shoot and blows himself up, and he's just covered in gore. Like, oh god.
But then my guys like got on the computer and because Evan got in the elevator, because that's how it happened. Evan's guys are in the elevator. My guy's in the doorway, like, guarding it to let the rest of my warband in. Then your guy gets jumped by the cultist. He goes to fucking shoot the cultist, and the plasma pistol explodes and kills him.
Oh my god!
And then Evan's like, well, I'm see you later. And the elevator goes up. But then the elevator comes back down, and we're all like still trying to get in there and still use it. But like the last cultist dies, and other stuff is going on other boards that we have no idea about because we're playing our game. And all of a sudden, Cody Magus Buer comes over and starts like putting like insane Wilhelm miniature demons,
Just
and
like the
custom
craziest
kit
war
bash
shit. Yeah.
like all over the halls. And like he's like, all right, yeah, you guys hear some horrifying screams. You feel this psychic wave go over you, and these things just start walking through portals all over the base.
Jesus.
We're like, no, we go into the elevator.
We actually go in the elevator because he didn't put any like really close to us. It was kind of all around Grant.
Yeah.
And like in the empty space, and all my guys are right there already. So me and Gage are like, we'll just get in the elevator.
Bye. So one of Grant's guys got in as well.
Just a little goblin
Just
there.
a little goblin guy. A Thunder Warrior got in. And then we pop up on the other board. We come out of this like broken tower, like next to the church. And then we're like on the shoreline. And then Adam comes over and he just starts putting down just fistfuls of demons.
Whoa!
Which the cool thing about that, so that board has like a church built onto this wasteland, like, staircases and all this stuff leading up to this big cool church with a watchtower, and then this like ocean spot. And the other board that's next to it, connected, also has the ocean continuing onto that board. So it's like this big giant church on the ocean, like overlooking a battlefield. Very cool setup. But Bill built that church board that was at Nemo.
Yeah.
They took that and we kind of just like set it up next to the church and with a staircase. So it's like you went into the church on the board and you could walk into the church on a separate table, and it was like all connected. So it looked very cool how it was all laid out.
Yeah. It was wild. So it was just like,
Dude, that rocks.
fighting through all of these demons. My three guys were just like, what? Yeah, like literally
I just wanna go home.
leaving this facility and coming outside to a full scale battle. Like almost, that would have been like a 2,000 point game with just how many models were just like there. And I'm role playing like, because I think one of my guys even died when he came out. So it was just like three guys
here's
just
a
like,
photo
oh
of it.
god.
So that's like
Wow.
the church board right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we moved around like the carpet and the stairs, and that's the big church that is on the board.
So it's a full 4x8.
Yeah, I'll
board.
say. That's
yeah,
huge.
So like, it's 2 4x4 boards connected over there, and then we just added that piece there.
so
It was
neat.
very sick.
It was chaotic for there. I didn't make it into the church. You guys did.
Oh yeah. It was fucking sick.
Evan's whole thing was they were
awesome.
carrying the light.
They had a reliquary.
Yeah.
He had a reliquary
Yeah.
carrying the souls of like thousands of people.
Yeah.
My guys were going there because they were being pulled by that psychic dampener that was going on. Who else was in there? The Isaac's navigators were there.
Yep. Isaac's
Bill-
Navigators. Cole was in there.
Cole was in there with his entire warband.
Yep.
I don't remember why.
And then Mike and Grant were kind of fighting outside
Yep.
with... There was one other person out there.
Bill was there.
Yeah.
Bill's
on the
like,
back
witch
side.
hunter
Yeah.
inquisitors were there, which I torched with a flamethrower.
Nice.
So it's kind of like everyone fighting to get into this church, and then Grant was just like looking at this hill, and he's like, "I'm gonna roll cool." We're like, "Okay, what for?" He's like, "You'll see." He rolls it. He loves like he fucking if
Roll boxcars.
Yeah, I think it was either an 11 or a 12, and he was like, "Oh hell yeah!" He goes, "I ripped my bike through the stained glass window." He's like,
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
what
gap.
cool's for.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Wah!" And then because it was so many people, it was also like, "Did you guys go yet?" I don't know. We're just gonna start
the
going
classic.
over here.
Yeah, we've been there. We've been there.
So it kept going around to Grant, and everyone's like, "Grant, did you go yet?" He goes, "No, my guy's still flying in the air."
I
And
love
then
that.
eventually, like everyone did their turn, and then he's like, "All right, I land right in the middle." And I think he landed it and like shot a guy and then blew up or something. I don't really remember what happened there because I was
in so many places at once.
I was fending off just like 50 fucking demons. It was just like, okay, cool. And then we realized that our flight was
No shit.
soon.
yeah, well, because
Frontier.
it was the same problem.
or
Of
whatever.
everyone gets
Yeah,
there
yeah.
a little bit. Everyone gets there
Yeah.
not at the right time.
Yeah.
People are
A little
eating
more,
and
punk
stuff.
time, delayed,
Yeah,
delayed.
yeah.
Stop for lunch.
And then the first game, and then this is technically the second game. First game kind of spilling right into the finale, which wasn't the finale. Like
Right.
more stuff
Yeah,
happened. I don't even know how the game ended. I don't know how the event ended.
We missed the end.
So you'll have to wait until you can read it on the blog.
Yeah. Which we weren't even really like. We found out later that the boarding was later than it said
Yeah. I think that was
because we had enough time that I went and got food while we were in the airport.
we were gaslit by them again, but it was I think also just a little bit of panic from the Griffins. We were going to get there a little early for them, and then it was kind of just like we're just going to get to the airport. So that like the very last scenario when it started,
all the demons started showing up.
yeah, you guys had activated the big thing in the church.
Yeah, so Bill, there was a psychic dampener that was feeding on souls. Bill's guy went up to interact with it and failed horribly, and his guy's soul, like he dies. His soul splits into 50 or 20 into 20 shards.
my God.
And the 20 shards turn into demons from the warp. So then like
Welp?
Shane was kind of GMing it, and it was like,
Yeah.
you'd kill a demon. Oh, the bar goes up. So it was like very obvious. Like it was very cool though. Like, oh, you got to kill these demons to make the bar fill to make the thing go off. So we're like fighting all these demons, and it was like me, Isaac, which me and Isaac were already like, all right, you're a navigator house. We're cool from the last mission the day before. Like we're working together. Cole's there. Me and Cole are kind of like, well, there's a bigger problem right now. We're not going to fight. We're just going to fight these demons.
Yeah.
And we're killing all the demons, and there's still like 3 left. And Evan he's like, yeah, so I want to walk up and I want to like open the reliquary that I've been carrying with all these souls. So it unleashes all the souls that are held in this like walking reliquary that he's carrying around, and it like overloads the system. And like that happens, and we're kind of waiting because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Eli comes over with all his big demons and starts like placing them on the table.
Holy
like,
shit.
Oh, the dampener overloads and now is not working, and a rift opens.
Holy shit.
And he's putting down like 2 foot tall models of just like a giant baby head thing with like it's like
oh my God.
the size of like a fucking
He
basketball.
puts this thing down in the church. Like
What
this
the fuck
fucking
is
free,
that
like,
thing?
Yeah.
Dude, the hair on it is so gross.
That looks so gross. That is probably the grossest.
this thing, this big mouth, like shooting. Which
This is
most of
sick.
it was
Who
like
made
half
these?
painted.
Yeah.
Who
So
made these
unfortunately,
ones?
So, true punk time as well. They had an assembly line of people painting and dry brushing in the corner and being
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, this is done, okay." And then someone would run over and go hot off the press and just place it on a board. Like,
Yep. If you want to know how to run an event, that's how you do it.
That's how you do it,
You
yeah.
you go for it, man.
It didn't
You
take
go
anything
for
away from it.
So this
no,
is-
in fact, it's kind of exciting.
This one, the big baby thing.
Yeah.
This thing is like this tall.
Who made these things again?
Red Wet Skeleton.
Eli. So that's like sitting in the
Amazing.
board.
Our beautiful boy.
And then
I love the tooth one with the teeth and the.
so this is like, you can zoom in, but like the big tooth guy is there in the church. It just materializes. And then the big face one just like slams
Yeah,
out of the
yeah.
sky through the roof.
yeah, these guys have to be on like 120 millimeter base.
Yeah, they're huge. But then like all of us are. Eric comes over and he goes, all right, so the big psychic awakening. So I guess if you have psychic powers, they all get way more powerful. So like do whatever you want with your psychic powers. So like my guy had like where I roll a dice and he would just like he was blowing up like with like a giant wave of psychic energy that would like strength 7 to everything that around him. It just demolishes stuff around him.
Yeah.
Isaac was his psyker would summon the visions of his ancestors, and he would put the navigator bust down, and then he would do it again and it would summon another one, and anything in between the line of the two navigator sculpts was just getting fucking annihilated with like strength 10 whatever. Like, it was very cool.
Dude, that's sick.
It was like the best part of Calvin Ball. It was like, how can we make this fun, but we're also just like telling the craziest
It's
fucking
off the
story.
walls.
Yeah, yeah.
That's sick.
And like my guy's like fighting this giant tooth monster with everyone, and it's just fucking smoking everyone. So
Yeah.
my psyker like loses the chains off him, and he's like free from all those sigils that are around him, so he teleports off.
Nice.
Because there's stuff going on the lighthouse.
That's another thing too. Yeah, there's
another
there's
whole
still
game.
4 people playing on the lighthouse board behind us. That's just like demons are spawning in from the warp as like they're trying to get this
Dude,
fucking
this
thing going.
rocks.
And then the
What a
beaconites.
cool event.
Yeah.
So like right under the light, all the beaconites are there, like all these like powerful psychers that are maintaining the lighthouse and stuff. And I go over, I'm like, all right, where's the most psychic energy on this field right now? Because that's where my guy's going. And they're like, all right, yeah, right here. So my guy comes in, I roll to make sure he does the psychic test. He blows up, kills a bunch of the guys, and then we had to get on a plane, so we left.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
man.
2 guys that last scenario, one had a las gun, the other had a flamer. They walked off the board the opposite way. They said, all that went, nope.
Nope.
But every time someone would kill my saint when we were playing, he would just like disappear, like flash out from the warp, and then I made a bunch of like purity seals, and I would just like leave the purity seal with them. So I left a purity seal on the table as I was leaving. Just did a little like narrative purity seal for each time you would like one of them falls off his chains or something. That was probably my favorite thing to do.
That's cool.
Little fluff.
Just all those little fluff moments really made it, you know? It's
Yeah.
like the same thing with Brothers. It was like, yeah, we had 30 people all telling their individual stories. You only really learn about them when you get into those other pockets.
Yes. I wish we could do that. Like, I wish that's something that could exist with Nemo, but it's just too big. of a
I mean,
thing.
150 people.
It's just too big of a thing to be like, all right, yeah, game 1 is like,
I mean, it's
playing the game and here's your narrative. All right, the other 3 games, go have fun, do whatever you want.
It's more on the players to keep that
Totally.
canon going, you know?
And I don't think you can wrangle that kind of thing.
No,
with
not for
size
something
of
like
thing.
that. But there was nothing in the rules that said I had to have my guys die.
Yeah.
I passed every injury roll technically I ever had. But I was like, no, he gets stepped on by this fucking 3-foot tall
Totally.
model. He's dead. I don't care.
He
He's
was
dead.
eaten by that 4-foot demon.
Yeah. Oh, in that last game, I didn't even have my psyker because Tim still had it, and he was trying to throw it into the lighthouse to overload it to blow it up.
Oh, I love that.
I was like,
Physically
fucking
throwing
whatever.
a guy.
Yeah. I was like, sure, cool. I don't care. So I don't know. That's like those are the stuff that made it for me, and it was such a cool turnaround because I was in like just such a not sci-fi mindset going into this trip, and then like Houston just being like one of the like worst places I've ever been.
Listen,
Wow.
I'm gonna say something. No one does it like New England.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It was a different vibe, but once we were in and playing, I was like, all right, these are my friends. This is a good time. This is a great time playing with everyone. Everyone's having a laugh. Everyone's doing rules a certain way. I don't think that dice were rolled in the Chris and Martin McCoy game. I can't imagine.
So my guy like does this. Chris, yeah, that's cool. That happens.
Yeah. You know what I
That's
mean? It's
cool.
like that's what it's about. It's like
Yeah.
Literally playing with toys.
yeah, we're grown ass men coming to play with toys, and it was the best way to do it.
Who do you think your favorite warband was?
Steve has the sickest guy that I saw him do it and I was like, oh, this is sick. And then when I was at the event, I picked it up and I was like, this model's fucking beautiful.
Which model was it?
It's like a
we can do show and tell. I have it.
we kept referring to it as Phil, but it's a guy that's touching two data terminals, but it's using like the zombie the head. So he looks like he's just like absolutely serotonin just drained, just like doom scrolling.
This guy.
That guy, he's magnetic. You can pull him off the base.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Pop him off.
Wait, I think I'm breaking it.
No.
No.
Well, yeah.
There you go. It's magnetic.
Whoa.
No, so look at the face that this guy has. He's just like, "Bleh."
Yeah.
Now, and then when I saw it like on pictures or whatever, Steve was posting little previews. I'm like, that's fucking beautiful. But dude, look at the data pads that Steve made out of plastic card. He wrote little data on the fucking
I wrote
things.
data on there.
So the guy's like touching this like VR terminal, right? With little data on there. But I was joking and saying that's like doom scrolling on one and then like Tinder or something on the other one, or
He's on the hub.
yeah.
That's so neat.
That's my favorite model from the whole event.
Thank you.
Shane's warband, I think, is my favorite.
All the
because
faces ripped off the guys.
it was just
so
such a unique and his own spin on just a warband in general.
Yeah. Him or probably Isaac's.
Yeah.
The Navigator house
Yeah.
is just so good. These weird freaks just
That I mean,
Made him-
Isaac's work
I
is
know.
always just incredible, and the mechs that he made,
oh dude,
the mechs, those are 4 flames.
yeah,
Yeah,
all of them.
they're on his Instagram.
We had Eric take a bunch of photos because I'm going to put them in the book.
Yeah.
And they're so cool.
They are. Isaac has such a way of looking at materials in such a different way.
Totally. That's
We talk about this every now and then, but like the BMX mindset, it's like I'll look at a stair ledge combo a completely different way than someone walking down the stair every day of their life would look at it, right?
Yeah.
Where Isaac is looking at this like plastic card and different materials in such a different way where he can immediately grab scale out of something that is so small.
Yeah.
That I've picked up a million times and used for like models and shit, but he's using it a totally different way that I never will think about it.
The best example is the iPhone volume up piece. You know, on your old headphones, there'd be the little plastic.
yeah.
That ripped off is like the leg of the mechs.
Oh,
it has that perfect radius to
Yeah,
it.
it's like rounded in such a good way, and like
It's like shit like that like that piece would have just been like, oh, I'll glue it to this model. It's agreeably, who cares, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, this is like the most important part of this model to give it its shape and stuff. And it's like,
and he says it so well about the like heads and hands give scale.
Yes.
That's where the scale
Yes.
comes from, of like, this is a giant robot.
Right.
It's because they have these little nimbly fingers and this tiny little like cockpit head, like I might have a few photos.
those were the most inspiring things I saw that weekend, where I was like, this really changes my perspective.
Are they on his Instagram?
They're Weirding's Way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just like, holy shit, seeing these in person and Lunax's true scale stuff in person. I was like,
Right?
I've always loved his models, and I never
Yep.
knew he was even coming to the event. And I was just like, whoa, holy fuck.
Yeah, like this is a collection of like excellent and very unique models.
Oh, yeah.
And which
Yeah.
is why it's just like, oh, cool. Of course, modern synthesis was there.
Yeah.
You know,
He had
of course,
Hydra.
the blind man was there.
Yeah.
You know,
He had Hydra bash all of his models. They were like the sickest Gene Slayer cult, like fishermen, like deep sea fishermen. They had the coolest like yellow like rain jackets and shit, and like a huge harpoon gun. And I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Cool collection of just interesting model makers.
Oh, it was-
to have in one space.
it was
Johnny,
incredible.
you have Johnny style in
yep.
there. You got it's so many people.
Yeah, it was.
Grant, dude. Grant has one of the coolest styles
Yep.
of like painting.
Yep. Jimmy the Phoenician was there. Like
I don't
every
even know if I saw Gundam Mike's warband.
Gundam Mike's warband
Gundam Mike was there?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he had the pink and purple guys.
Yes, yeah. He had a fox that I could not kill. So, okay, one of my guys that made it to the very end through the whole game, he's carrying a data pad. That's all he had. So I was saying, when he was melee attacking people, he's cracking them with an iPad.
Yeah.
So I kept calling him iPad Kid, and then Evan called him iPad Lad. But I was like behind this fox for like 3 movements. So I was just like, I'm just trying to fucking kill this fox. I'm just like hitting him with an iPad, and then the fox is just saving. I get 2 crits, injury, like crit again, like everything that could fucking just do it, and then he's like just re-rolling a save every time he's doing it. He's like needle zapping people. They're teleporting. It was just like everyone, not a single person had like any overlap. Everyone was so uniquely themselves.
Yes, totally.
Mike's whole warband, I think, used weapons that shot you, didn't do damage. They just moved you around the map.
Yep.
They just would randomly move you.
Yeah. And,
So cool.
And you're like, okay, that's like,
It's so annoying.
you're like, yeah, that's annoying. And it's like not really like that deadly, but especially in a PvE scenario, he swaps one of my guys into a fucking pit of 5 demons. I'm like, well, fuck, that's deadly.
I've had kid die.
You know what? That's like the narrative. It's the narrative version of BDCF talking about competitive gaming and thinking about list building different is being
Yes.
like, oh, actually, my guns don't do what you think they do. They actually just move you around the map.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, dude. Now your whole
Your game plan changes.
Yeah.
that is a really cool way.
Yeah.
Because I've talked about it before where it's like I would like to play hardcore on Modern Warfare with the riot shield and the LMG and just run around
That's
just
it.
firing bullets
Yeah.
and being like an Iron Man. Because it's different than what everybody else is doing.
Right.
And it's fun to just do those things that are like unexpected
Yeah.
and then be like, this is a different game than I've ever played. When years of wargaming, this is a different game.
Yeah, it's a totally different
Yeah.
vibe.
Very,
Everyone,
very neat.
Everyone on Dust 2 queuing up with the fucking saw.
Yeah.
Max round. Bye.
Bye. I don't know. It was very inspiring. And like I said, it was such a cool turnaround from like where I was mentally prior to then coming out of it being like, I want to bash some fucking mechs. We're throwing shit out the studio the other day. That little tank I grabbed is the perfect turret on it. I was like, I know exactly where this is going. Like,
and seeing those things, it's like going to see like a noise show or something where you come back with fresh eyes where you're like, oh, I could steal that idea. Or you see the way Isaac looks at model making material and you're like, oh, I will never be able to see this little bip and bop the same way.
Yes.
And it'll help inform your brain about how to see other shapes and how to use them sculpturally or whatever, which is super cool. Oh, I'm a little jealous. Not gonna lie.
You know?
Maybe
time.
next Vastarian event.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, for listeners, this is why you should make your own shit.
Yes. And shout out the couple of people I talked to that came out just to meet Steve and I. That was also a crazy experience. And they're talking about the events that they're going to be running, and they're inspired to do it because of the pod. Thank you.
Yeah, that's so sick. I mean, it's crazy that it's just like I feel like the more we talk about it, the more I'm just like, holy shit, like I wanted to run my own little, like, it's separate from even what you guys are doing. It's just like, oh, I could just be like, hey, New England War Council, I'm doing this weird one-day thing where if you want to make a Forbidden Psalm style warband for this narrative event.
Last War Day, Flames Day.
Totally.
We got to do Terry Day now. What's it going to be?
And but like, that's why that's so cool, because if you have 5 friends in your area who may not even be that interested in wargaming besides Warhammer 40K, you can be like, hey guys, check it out. I have a really easy rule set, or you already know Warhammer 40K. We're going to use these same rules, but you just need to make me 5 dudes and come up with a story. And you could just run an entire day.
Right there, you have a kit bash prompt.
Yep.
Or just a model making prompt if that's not your vibe, which it should be if you're listening to this podcast. But right there, you have a prompt, something to make to. That's already going to get your gears going. You have probably narrative if this person's making an event. That's something to get you going. You have all these prompts to work with. Just go. Play.
You need just like 4 or 5 friends to have it.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could probably just do it with 2 people.
You don't need to have a whole event to have fun.
No, it's true. It's true. Very true. Very true, Steven. Anyways, Gage, you want to flip that transformer real quick so we can see what it sounds like?
Yeah.
All right. Hit it right now. Thanks for checking out this episode of Hive Scum. If you aren't already part of the community, check us out at the In Rust We Trust Discord, which you can find down in the description below. If you have questions you'd like to ask us, you can find our Instagrams down below as well. Or feel free to ask away on the Discord. We also have plenty of extra content and other perks available to our patrons on Patreon. So if you're interested in helping us keep doing what we're doing, then you can find that description below as well. Until next time, folks, keep it grimdark and keep it grimy. Peace.